Dr. Pepper kickoff weekend continues here on ABC in prime time as the new head coaches at Notre Dame and Pitt go head-to-head. Dave Wannstedt and Charlie Weiss returning to their alma mater. Some of you will see Texas A&M on the road to face the Clemson Tigers, who are painted up and ready to go to take on the Aggies. On ESPN at 8:45, Georgia Tech facing Auburn. Yes, they had a perfect season in 2004, but they have lost an awful lot of that offense. A game that's underway right now. The #1 team in the nation, USC. We know about their offense. Will Darnell Bing, 65 yards with this interception return for a touchdown as USC leads Hawaii 14-3. Welcome to the studio, everyone. John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. Impressed with USC already?
Well, I mean, they're over in Hawaii having a good time, It's one of those deals where you knew they were going to come out and play well. It's just Hawaii's defense. Their team, they don't have the talent. Jerry Glanville's new defensive coordinator of Hawaii, but he doesn't have the players over there. You see USC wide receivers just stiff-arming guys playing with them.
That's why they're wearing black, because their defense is dead.
So I wonder if that means tickets are being left for Elvis by Jerry Glanville.
Elvis is going to Hawaii.
Because Elvis is in the same position right there. All right, let's let you know what's going on in the top stories today in college football. At the very top of the list, the #7 team in the nation, Oklahoma, a team that played in the last 2 national championships, 3 of the last 5, upset by TCU 17-10. Adrian Peterson with just 63 yards. Tennessee back and back with quarterbacks, as did Oklahoma. They survive against UAB, and the Big Ten goes 6-0 against the MAC. Is it too early to pour some dirt on top of Oklahoma?
Well, you put a little dirt on them, but it can't be too much dirt. I tell you what, everybody's going to talk about Oklahoma and how bad they did play, but I want to say Gary Patterson and TCU did a great job in the offseason of improving their defense. You got to say that TCU will be a formidable opponent this year. No question about it. Oklahoma, the dirt's starting to go on them, but they got too many players to throw in the season.
Yeah, they did. They lost a lot of players last year. You can't talk enough about what Jason White meant to this ball club, but Adrian Peterson, the star, has to be able to find room to run, and that has to be the offensive line. It was a total team effort today. Nobody played well for Oklahoma. They got some young players. They got to rectify that if they hope to have a good faring in the Big 12 this year.
All right, Texas A&M and Clemson is a game some of you will see. If you don't see that one, you will be getting the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Pitt. We'll keep you up to date with scores and highlights, and see you then at halftime. Enjoy the games, everyone.
We're down by the riverside in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and during this week of turmoil and travail, hopefully we can bring you diversion and pleasure on this opening weekend of college football across the country. The Pittsburgh Panthers have just come into the stadium. It is a sold-out crowd, and they are thundering in the background. Alumnus David Wannstedt returning to his alma mater as the 34th head football coach of the Panthers. He comes back from professional football, and this is the opening night for him on his return. And on Dr. Pepper's college football kickoff weekend here on ABC Sports, this will be the 63rd meeting between these two schools, whose football teams across the country have been heavy contributors to the history and legend of college football. Here comes the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. The worthy opponent of the Pitt Panthers on this night. Charlie Weiss is coming back to his alma mater as their head coach, the 28th head coach of this Notre Dame football team. He, of course, comes from the New England Patriots and has had some extraordinary success there. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our 40th consecutive season of college football here on ABC Sports. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Dan Fouts, our analyst, NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, I'll have you know, and Todd Harris, the intrepid one, will be on the sidelines. Dan, in your judgment, what do these two former professional coaches have to bring with them to college football?
Well, Keith, the one word that both Wannstedt and Weiss have to remember is patience. This is college football. They're now dealing with 18 and 20-year-olds who have a lot to juggle in their young lives. And while there's a lot made of this return to their alma maters for both of them, the one thing that we have to do is be patient as fans and media. This is a long season, and this is only one game.
Both of them have come back to a cupboard not bare at all, but in particular, both have tested quarterbacks.
Well, Notre Dame is famous for their high profile and great legacy of their quarterbacks. I talked to Brady Quinn on Wednesday. He said he hoped that his legacy with that he would be remembered as a winner. Now, having seen the success that his coach has had in the NFL, Quinn feels that he is right on target to bring Notre Dame back to their winning ways. Last year's Notre Dame defense, though, could never quite zero in on Pitt quarterback Tyler Palko. He's strong, he's athletic, he can fire from the pocket, he can make the impossible throw look easy, and he can absolutely blow your mind with his creativity. Palko torched Notre Dame with 5 touchdown passes, something nobody has ever done before.
The weather is perfect. It is a cool evening. It'll be in the high 60s as we begin this ball game. And it is the 63rd meeting between these two teams. So we're going to jack it up with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Panthers of Pitt in a moment. Now let's take a moment with Todd Harris.
Well, Keith and Dan, if the old adage is true that you can never go home again, someone forgot to tell Dave Wannstedt and Charlie Weiss. Unlike Coach Wannstedt, Charlie Weiss did not play football at his alma mater, Notre Dame. Instead, he attended every single game, watching in the stands and even driving to their bowl games. Now, former offensive lineman Dave Wannstedt, well, his football life has come full circle, literally. The ground that his office is on here at Pittsburgh is the site of a former steel mill. Not just any steel mill, the same mill that his father worked at his entire life and where Wannstedt spent his summers. Wannstedt said the head coaching job at Pitt became available 3 times. His name was talked about 3 different times. He said the timing just wasn't right. Well, 2 days ago, before last Christmas, the timing was just right, and he took the job. And as you can tell by the enthusiasm here at Heinz Field, the fans, the faculty, everyone at Pittsburgh is happy he did. Keith.
All right, we're ready to go. Pittsburgh won the toss. The Panthers want the ball. They are receiving, and Lerod Stevens is waiting for it as Carl Gioia kicks it off. Marcus Furman receives it for the Panthers, and he breaks through the first wave, but he is taken down at about the 27-yard line by one Irishman in the middle. Otherwise, he might have been still hauling it down the field. The quarterback for the Pitt Panthers is a junior, quarterback Tyler Palko. He's a good-sized fellow, 6'2", 220 pounds. He's irrepressible. He's the son of a successful high school coach here in Western Pennsylvania. The last 6 games last season, he tore them up. He threw for 17 touchdowns and had only 2 picks. So when he gets a little rope, he can make things happen. But Dave Wannstedt says they want to run the ball. They come out and throw on the first play of the ball game, and the pass gets completed to the tight end, Eric Gill. The Pittsburgh bats and receivers, the wide receiver Greg Lee is the big man among the wideouts. He, as a sophomore, was all-conference, 68 catches, 10 touchdowns. Starting tailback tonight is the freshman Rashad Jennings. The Pittsburgh offensive line, tackle to tackle, all of these people are 300 pounds or more, and they look better in fall practice. Big people, though. Ooh, they fall on you. You need a crane to get out from under them. They run it off the right side with the 235-pound freshman Jennings carrying. And he's going to get a couple of yards on the carry as he runs into a Notre Dame defense. Along the front, they have one starter returning. That would be tackle Derek Landry. The linebacking core, they also have one returning starter, team captain Brandon Hoyt. The others have all been in battle, though. And the secondary, one returning starter, Tom Zibikowski. And there's some work to be done there, but they think they've got the people to do the job. Tim Murphy now steps in there in the backfield as the single back, and he'll rotate some with Jennings. Defensive end for Notre Dame almost jumped, and we've got a penalty flag, and they have blown the whistle. I think that's a dead ball call. I don't think the ball had been snapped when the penetration occurred.
The Notre Dame man came into the neutral zone, and they're going to get him for drawing the offensive man off sides.
It is a Big Ten officiating crew tonight, Dan. Dennis.
Number 75, defense.
And we do have replay.
Remains first down.
the replay will be handled by the Big East Conference, of which Pittsburgh is a member. So at the 44-yard line, here's the Panthers now with a 1st down and 5 off the penalty. Bucas and Strong check into the lineup for them. Palco under center. Straight back. He's a lefty and he can hum it. Goes short. Ball is again completed in the short zone area, but this time Notre Dame played it much better.
Now the keys to this game for both teams, Keith. Notre Dame, Brady Quinn must lead by example, and defensively they got to find a way to keep Palco in the pocket, although he's 3 for 3 from the pocket so far tonight. On offense, Pitt wants to run the ball 60% of the time, and then on defense, shut down Notre Dame's run and force Quinn to throw into their secondary with those 2 great corners for the Pitt Panthers.
They're moving people in and out. Jennings has come back into the lineup for the Panthers. They have the football now. 2nd down and 1, just short of midfield at the 48. Ball is given to Jennings, and Jennings is leveled as he gets to midfield. Linebacker came flying up, stopped him, and then Zibikowski came out of the backfield, and Tom laid a lick on him. And it is a 1st down for Pitt.
Good start for Pittsburgh. They get the good kickoff return from Furman, and Palco looks in midseason form as he's finding everybody he likes.
There have been some wide open spaces in this first possession for Pitt. No question about it. Bouncing to the outside, it's Jennings, the tailback, and remember he weighs 235 pounds, so he can move the wagon alone for a little while. Maurice Crum finally got him and stopped him just short of another 1st down.
Good lead block by Brandon Mason, who's right in front of Jennings. 27 is Mason. Watch this block right there. The kick out, the pin by the wide receiver. And Rashad Jennings off to a great start. Remember, just a freshman starting at tailback for Pitt.
2nd down and 1. Stay with the run. Lose another yard. They'll back up some more as Jennings is collared by Derek Landry, the big senior out of Concord, California.
It'll be interesting to see how much the Panthers stay with the run. It was a good opening drive for them against this Notre Dame defense. And Palco is so dangerous. He has not been pressured at all. So this offensive line working well on the run blocking and the pass blocking. Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator, came from the Baltimore Ravens. Talk about all the Super Bowl rings that Charlie Weis has. Well, this man right here has got 4 of his own.
Matt Cavanaugh, who was a Pitt quarterback, was involved in one of the historic games between these two teams back in 1977. We'll tell you about it as the evening wears along. Palco is a 220-pounder. He's from Imperial, PA, and he picks up that 1st down. Cavanaugh in that 77 game broke his wrist with Pitt leading Notre Dame 9-0 in the second half. They couldn't handle the ball. They turned it over, I think, 8 or 9 times, lost it 5 times, and wound up losing the game 19-9, and he still growls about it.
And you remember it well, don't you?
Yes, I do. 39-yard line. Out of the eye now with the big guy, Jennings deep. Palco back, throwing deep. Got a man going down the middle of the field. He's caught it. It's touchdown for the Pitt Panthers. Greg Lee got a step and a half on the defender and walked in. Pass was perfect.
Palco really showed his cool after the play fake. Saw that there was no middle safety in the field, so he could just throw it right down the middle and let Greg Lee, with his great speed, run under it and get in the end zone with ease. 6 touchdown passes now for Palco against the Irish in less than 5 quarters.
Josh Cummings is in for the extra point, and it's good. So the Panthers are impressive in their first possession as they take it down the field and stick it in the end zone to lead 7-0. Greg Lee catches a 39-yard pass for a touchdown. Palco goes 3 for 3 in 52 yards of the touchdown.
That's a play-action pass, but this is a great route by Greg Lee. Watch him turn Mike Richardson, number 30, around. He's thinking he's going on the fly pattern. The sharp cut to the post. Zibikowski is late getting back because of the play action, and the Pitt Panthers are on top early.
8 plays, 73 yards. Now Notre Dame can have the ball for a little while. Irish have not had it yet. Russell kicks off. Got a lot of air under it. Coming up to make the reception is Brandon Harris. And Brandon comes across the 20 and is taken down hard at about the 23, maybe the 22-yard line. Wheels swing off to New York City and John Saunders.
Keith, with the Taco Bell update, USC, well, how many guys are they going to have in New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation? This guy was here last year, Reggie Bush, 41 yards on the touchdown run, as USC also has a defensive score, 21-3, their lead in Hawaii. Keith.
He's getting pretty good in that somersault, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, if that defender wasn't close to him, that would be a penalty this year.
Right. Here's Brady Quinn rolling out to the right. Pulls it down, takes it upfield himself, and got fairly good yardage out of it. He picked up about 6, maybe 7. Brady Quinn, team captain, junior, 6'4", 231-pounder, and he comes out of Dublin, Ohio, which is just up the road from Ohio State. He started 9 games as a freshman, all 12 games last year, and the way things are going, he will probably start literally all 4 years as a quarterback if he has good health at Notre Dame. That's quite a feat.
That's quite an if, too. No experience behind Brady Quinn whatsoever.
Not much experience behind either quarterback for either team, actually. This is Walker, and Darius Walker, who started as a freshman tailback a year ago. Looking around for some daylight, got it up to the 31. He's a yard and a half short. The backs and receivers for the Irish. As a group, the receivers are big people. Tall, 3 of them at 6'5". The smallest is 6 even. The offensive line for the Irish, 4 starters in the top 10 among these big guys, some of them capable of working at more than one position. But the ball is at the 31-yard line, where it is 3rd down and 1 with Fasano, Freeman, and Schwab in the ball game, 2 tight ends. And they look in the middle for the first down play, and it'll be close. It'll be close. It was Walker, who's a 208-pound sophomore, and Horatio Benedict Blades. Yep, that's Benny's boy. And he is a heck of a linebacker for the Pitt Panthers.
A lot of missed blocks on that short yardage play by Notre Dame. Aesop Schwab was the lead blocker for Charlie Weiss. He missed his man, as did a couple guys inside, but it's not easy to tackle Horatio Benedict.
He's not very high, but he's wide and he's thick and he's a tough guy.
Well, and he made the transition from strong side linebacker to middle linebacker, and it's been a very smooth one for him. Coaches have been impressed with his leadership and his playmaking ability, and a favorable spot for the Irish gives him a first down.
Well, he did get a little bit of a break on the spot, didn't he? The Pittsburgh defense lines up along the front, 4 men. Charles Salette, returning starter. Corey Davis is a redshirt freshman. He gets his first start. Linebackers, this group is led by H.B. Blades. He's the junior, 245. They had 108 tackles last year. And Pitt secondary is pretty good. Those corners, Darrell Revis and Josh Lay, are really good. Twin turns are staying with the run. That's the idea that they bring to the Charlie Weiss era. They're going to pound on you. They're going to play tough football. And right now they're looking at a penalty flag thrown by the official across the way.
Yeah, defense a little jumpy into that neutral zone. The flag was thrown late, but thrown nevertheless.
On Thursday night, 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific, we've got Green Day, Rolling Stones, Santana, many of them, in an NFL opening kickoff presented by Sprint. And then the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots will take on the Oakland Raiders in a special edition of Monday Night Football, Thursday night, 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific, here on ABC Sports. So after the penalty, it is first down and 5 for the Irish. Glenn turns around. He and Walker almost ran together. Now Walker bounces to the outside and found daylight and got it up to the 45-yard line. And that's the first down for Notre Dame as Darrell Revis and Charles Sept bring him down.
This is twice now that Walker has not liked the original design of the play and changed his mind. A lot better result this time. This is supposed to go off the left side. This is the type of athlete this young man is. Great reverse pivot there. A little shake and bake there. Picks up an extra 5 yards.
He went to Notre Dame from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Linda left some tears behind him. He wanted him to stay at home, but he wanted to play for the Irish. On the first down play, Friend back, throws, goes to Walker. He's got a man in front. The block was not solid enough to control the Panthers, but the pickup is still pretty good, about 4 yards.
Charlie Weis coming to South Bend from New England. I'm sure a lot of the Patriots are watching the game tonight, including Tom Brady, but be sure that Bill Belichick's watching as well, seeing how Charlie does in his debut. What a record these two men combined with Romeo Crennel, head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Win back on second down and 5. Throws it short again. Walker. Walker's been busy. He's got a first down and then some. Now he's got a convoy. And he scores. Darius Walker.
Charlie Weis told me that Darius Walker reminds him of his Patriot running back Kevin Falk with more speed. Sorry, Kevin, about that, but check out the speed. Second consecutive screen pass for the Irish. This one, Walker gets away from H.B. Blades and then down the sidelines with that convoy into the end zone.
Now to tie. DJ Fitzpatrick. Pride and joy of Mishawaka. Snap was high, but the hold is good and the kick is good. And we're all even at 7 here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Perfect evening for a game of football, and it looks like this might be another one of those bang-bangers. That play in which Darius Walker covered most of the real estate running, totaled 51 yards. But he had a lot of company, didn't he?
Well, and so did his quarterback, Nick Williams, number 47 in the circle. Almost gets to Quinn, but he's cool in the pocket. And now, watch this convoy. Fasano's out in front. Big Dan Stevenson. Now the wide receivers get involved. Here comes Raymond McKnight, and Stovall will come just right there at the goal line. That's a team effort, and that's got to make Charlie Weis awful happy. But that's really a trademark of a Weis offense, is scoring on the first drive of a game, something he did many times with the Patriots.
And the Irish kick off. Carl Gioia hangs a lot of air under it. It's taken by Marcus Furman. Backer out inside the 10, and he gets up to about the 24. The Dr. Pepper College Football Kickoff Weekend on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. And Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Great start for Palco, that first drive, 3 for 3, and the big touchdown to Greg Lee.
Throws to the sidelines. Pass is completed to Joe Del Sardo, who is a speed burner, and he's got about 6 or 7 yards on the play. A moment now with Todd Harris.
You know, Charlie Weis is a stickler for detail. His message to his defense on that last drive by Pittsburgh was not good. He just simply went to Rick Minner, deliver this message: you better start playing better or I will put in the second string. Keith.
Wow.
I don't believe it.
I'm not sure he has a second string to put in.
Tim Murphy is the running back, has the ball for Pitt. Notre Dame swarms him, and there's a loss on the play as Brandon Hoyt and Corey Maves come boring in. 7-7 ball game.
Pitt opened in their first possession, marched it down the field, and led 7-0. And Notre Dame in their first possession came down the field in a 51-yard pass run play with Darius Walker taking it in the end zone. That's where we are here in the first quarter of play at 7-7, and we've got 7 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. Third down at about 6. I'll call it 5 officially. Falco under pressure, gets it away and throws it away. That's what Falco will do, though. He wasn't going to give it up and take a big sack way back as the Irish blitzed. Corey Mays almost had him, but he's a nimble fellow, this Falco.
Watch the blitz here by Notre Dame. Right up the middle, totally unblocked, missed block by one of the running backs there. Tim Murphy missed Corey Mays, and he put the pressure on Falco.
Adam Gressel is in the punt. There's no pressure on him. It's a low liner. Waiting for it is David Grimes, and Grimes will watch it. He didn't want to handle it with that pressure coming down, and it'll go roll dead at about the 20-yard line. At 6:38 to go in the first quarter, and we're all even at 7.
According to most people, Tuesday, September 20th is just another day. But according to Jim...
I'm here with my son in his first baseball game. Can this day get any better?
Well, it's also the season premiere of Jim.
It just got better.
According to Jim, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Among those here tonight, Tony and Mike and Joe and Dan.
I think Theismann's a little outnumbered by the Panthers there, but I'm sure he can hold his own.
At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. All right, here comes Notre Dame. First down from the 20-yard line, 7-7 tie. They stop Pittsburgh in their second possession. Now let's see if the Pitt defense can handle the Irish. It was Walker who was the principal in that first possession. Quinn with all day to throw, just like he did on the opening of the last possession. Pulls it down, takes off. This time he gets big yardage up to the 36-yard line. Comment from Brady Quinn about what he has learned in his association and time spent with a fellow named Joe Montana.
Be relaxed back there and take what they give you, and that's something that I've watched him on film or seeing games of him playing, and that's something that I always noticed is he was just always cool in the pocket and just kind of took it nickel and dimed him if he had to, or take a big throw downfield, whatever it was. He was just relaxed and went through his progressions.
Bill Walsh will wince to hear the calls nickel and dime.
Well, I tell you what, Montana spent time at spring practice with Brady Quinn and the Irish, who's the honorary coach of the spring game. And, I can see a difference in Quinn already. When we saw him last year against USC at the end of the season, he looked like a totally different quarterback. Happy feet in the pocket, unsure where he's going. Tonight, he looks very calm and relaxed, and those numbers reflect it.
That reception a moment ago was by Fasano. It was good for 6 yards. A second down and 4. They go back to the run. Walker looking around for daylight. A quick-footed one that will be brought down at about the 42, and it'll be third down and 3.
He's going to be the workhorse for Charlie Weiss. He calls Walker his every down back. And on that last 6-play, 78-yard drive, Walker had 5 consecutive touches on the drive for 66 yards, including that 51-yard screen pass. So this man's going to have a busy night and a busy season.
Rima McKnight will be the man at the bottom of your picture there in the slot position, now going in motion. A good receiver. And Quinn rolls it that way and throws it that way, and it's intercepted by Pittsburgh's Revis. And Revis is taken down at about the 46-yard line by Maurice Snowball. That pass wasn't thrown where Brady Quinn, I think, had in mind.
Well, Quinn was trying to squeeze it into a zone. Trying to hit this tight end down here. Or actually, it's Snowball, number 21.
Yeah.
And watch the corner right here come off. Just playing his responsibility and reading the quarterback. I think that Quinn got a little greedy there. He had Raymond McKnight. Watch this block coming up here as one of the Irishmen hit the dirt. He had McKnight short in the flat for the first down.
Yeah, he was clearly available. Didn't work out that way, and it's first down Pittsburgh, their own 46-yard line. Raymond Kirkley is in the backfield right now for Pittsburgh, and he gets the call, a senior out of Madison, Virginia. And he's got a couple of yards on the carry, and that's all.
Panther defense picked Brady Quinn off twice last year. In fact, it was Josh Lay that got both of those interceptions. With Lay and Revis, both from Aliquippa High School, they've got a youngster named Tommy Campbell, a true freshman from Aliquippa. So, Keith, that's 3 quips in this game, and that's 3 more than Dennis Miller ever had on Monday night. Sorry, Dennis.
Second down and 8. Ball is handed inside. It goes to Kirkley. And Kirkley showing some quickness there. Almost popped out, but he's going to be a couple of yards short. We go up to John again.
Keith, in the singular All-America Player of the Week update, how about DJ Shockley of Georgia? 5 touchdown passes, also ran one in. Text the word VOTE to 87654 now on your singular phone for your ballot and a chance to win a trip to the National Championship game. Your singular All-America Player of the Week update. Keith.
And Boise State now understands how hard it is to play between the hedges in Athens.
And that grass is not blue in Georgia.
Third down and 2. And time called by Pitt. 3:51 to go in the first quarter. We're still even at 7 at Heinz Field on a night that is, well, a full house, sold out Heinz Field, and they sold standing room only, which always makes an opening game fun. What have you seen, Dan, that's been surprising, if anything?
I think the quick start was surprising, but now the defenses have adjusted, and they're starting to settle in a little bit. On that last time out by Pittsburgh, actually, Charlie Weiss's defense is lucky because they shifted out to a formation where Darryl Strong was going to be man for man against Maurice Crum, and that's a mismatch in Pittsburgh's favor. Palco could not get the play called in time, had to burn a timeout. But that's also a good timeout because at 3rd and 2, with this field position, this is a critical 3rd down try.
Kirkley is the single back. Palco looking to throw it. Does. Caught. Nifty play by Del Sardo, and a penalty flag follows it.
Yeah, I think the flag is going to be against Mike Richardson grabbing the jersey of Joe Del Sardo, all 5'8", 195 pounds. Kavanaugh says he's tough, and all he does is catch everything thrown his way, even if a defender is on his back.
Well, that was a pretty good play he just made.
Ooh. Pass interference on the defense, number 30. That penalty's declined. Resolve the play. First down.
Watch number 30 on the left side of the screen. He grabs, actually what he did is he grabbed the wrong arm. Should have grabbed the upfield arm. It would have been an impossible catch, but look at the concentration by Joe Del Sardo.
And the Panthers are first down at the Irish 37-yard line. Pressure coming on Palco. Steps away, goes into the pack, and flips that ball ahead. That's what he'll do for you. He saw the man, an eligible receiver upfield, Bucus, a tight end, and he just flipped it to him and got rid of Corey Mays and all the pressure. And instead of having about a 6-yard loss, he winds up with a 3-yard gain.
And that's just the last half of that great play by Palco. He got away from a blitz by Notre Dame. You know, being left-handed, he'll draw comparisons to Steve Young. But on that play, he looked a little bit like Bobby Douglas.
That's going back.
Yeah, he's a former teammate of mine for a cup of coffee.
Bobby's a big old strong guy. Boy, he was.
Yes, he was.
Man-sized. 2nd down and 7. There's some power running in the middle by Kirkley. Now, Kirkley wasn't discussed much in our conversation with the coaches of Pittsburgh, but he's shown up here, a 225-pound senior, and he's hammering.
Well, he's experienced. He's a between the tackles runner. That's the style of play that Wannstedt wants to emphasize. But when you got a wild card like Palco, you know, Notre Dame's had pressure on him the last couple of times, and he's gotten away from it. One time he threw the ball out of bounds. The next time he made a great flip forward to Bucus.
Well, Palco hit him for 5 touchdowns last year in that shootout over South Bend. It's Pitt won in overtime, 41-38. Ball is pitched back, rolls out of bounds. Pitt retains possession.
Big play by Brandon Hoyt. Got his left hand in there and punched that ball away from Kirkley. I don't think they were going to get much running the option to the short side of the field. As they come down the line of scrimmage, just a speed option play. Good job by Landry and Hoyt, a couple of veterans on this Irish defense.
Now, if you're going to run option against Notre Dame, I just think you do better when you can spread them out a little.
Yeah, that play with the fumble, that really pushes Cummings back to his limit.
Yep.
His career long's 47. This will be 49.
49. Brassel holds it. Josh Cummings hit a 32-yarder to win a year ago. He got a lot of feet on it, and I mean the kind of feet that takes it between the crossbars and downtown. That was over by a good 15 feet. And Pittsburgh gets back on top, 10-7, on a 49-yard field goal by Josh Cummings.
The former lad with the nickname of Sunshine. Last year, Notre Dame fans will remember what he did at the end of that game, but he had long blonde hair at the time. He shaved his head because he got tired of being called Sunshine.
Moms and dads should make note of that.
Yeah, if you want your kid to cut his hair, give him a bad nickname.
He's from Newhall, California. He probably needed it out there in the summertime. Warm in Newhall lately. As Dave Wannstedt, he grew up here, went to high school here, played here, talking to H.B. Blades. Fundamentally a defensive football coach, David is.
And that's unusual because he played offensive tackle, but has always coached on the defensive side of the ball. And he's been around.
Well, he started out as a graduate assistant in charge of conditioning and strength under Jackie Sherrill's staff.
And getting coffee.
And getting coffee.
For the staff.
And cutting the film, things like that. From the 35 now, he hit it a little fat. And knocked it out of bounds.
Not only did he hit it fat, he hit the tee.
Yeah. So Brassel will have to... they'll get the ball at the 35-yard line. I'm not sure, but what he didn't do what a lot of us have done when we're playing golf. Lifted his head.
Here are the travels of Dave Wannstedt, who was at SC with Ted Tollner, Oklahoma State with Jimmy Johnson. Of course, with Johnson, won the national title in Miami and the NFL title in Dallas. Got the head coaching job in Chicago. Things went bad last year for him in Miami, and he has come home to Pittsburgh because he's a Pittsburgh guy.
How you doing, Dan?
Doing great. Keith, how you doing?
I love West Pennsylvania. It's really there. It's just terrific. This is Walker. He's going to have close to a first down.
I tell you what, you know, you always talk about the great running backs, and I'm not sure Darius is a great running back yet, but he's showing he's capable. Watch the vision here on the draw play. Doesn't like it inside, sees the hole to the outside. Now the move, to the outside and the speed to turn around the corner and pick up the first down.
And he may look small when he's walking around among all those trees and along the huddle and in the line of scrimmage, but I'll tell you what, he's 208 pounds.
Look at those calves. If I had calves like that, I'd still be playing. Well, maybe not, but he's certainly no small man.
Modeling. Make the reverse. Quinn looking to go deep. Nobody's there. Throws to Rima McKnight. McKnight going down the sidelines. Big play for the Irish. First down inside the Pitt 30.
You know, now we're starting to see Charlie Weis open things up. And you'll be surprised at how many times you fake the ball to the receiver on the end around and the defense doesn't cover him because they don't think he's got the ball. This is a two-man pattern, basically. He's got Stovall going deep and nobody else but number 5, Raymond McKnight. And is he wide open crossing midfield?
Quick pop off the hands of the intended receiver, number 89. That'll be John Carlson.
Now we've shown you Dave Wanstead's map. Here's Charlie Weis's map. South Carolina. Then at Franklin Township, where he won a state championship. New York Giants with Bill Parcells. Went to with Parcells to the Patriots, back to the Jets. And then when Belichick took over in New England, well, you know the rest of that story.
27-yard line. Second down and 10 for the Irish on the Pitt side of the field. This is Walker looking for a crack. Found it. Had a little spin help, and he's inside the 20.
But this is fun to watch. Darius Walker is having a great night because he's being very, very patient. He's not forcing the issue. He's using his vision and his ability to cut back. He starts off to the right side here, but look how cool he is. Sees a huge hole all the way back over the center and picks up about 9 yards, 8, 9 yards. What a run.
Darius is pretty good on these opening games. He had 115 yards and 2 touchdowns last year as a freshman opening against Michigan. And they beat him. They go inside with the big fella, while Sean Powers Neal, 238 pounds of him, and he's got a first down for Notre Dame at the 14-yard line of Pittsburgh.
This is the area of the field. Now you get to the red zone for Notre Dame. And if you look back to what Weis likes to do, he likes to throw the ball to the tight ends, and he's got 3 good ones. Anthony Fasano, John Carlson, and Marcus Freeman. And he has a history of throwing the ball to his tight ends. You can see the last 3 years with the Patriots, a lot of success.
They're going to carry on this conversation because time is going to run out in the first quarter. So after 1 here in Pittsburgh, the home team, the Panthers, leading 10-7. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Raiders, Patriots, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
I'm Valerie Lego. Grand Rapids prepares to take in victims of Hurricane Katrina. They're heading this way tomorrow. More on that story tonight after the game.
13 on your sidelines. Friday nights at 11 on WZZM 13.
The evening lights in downtown Pittsburgh, and we welcome you back to Dr. Pepper's College Football Kickoff Weekend on ABC. And 10-7, Pittsburgh is leading in the ball game as we start the second quarter of play, but that may change shortly. It is first down for Notre Dame at the Pitt 14-yard line. Brady Quinn ducks it off to Darius Walker, and by that time, we finally got the ball to him. There were a lot of Panthers waiting to pounce.
Hey, you can only go to the well so often. That's the 3rd screen pass for Notre Dame here in the first half, and that one was well read by Blades and company. Pressure on Quinn actually forced him to hold the ball longer than he wanted to, and that allowed Pittsburgh to come off their blocks. But Weis has got to be happy with his offense. They're averaging about 10 yards a play.
The ball is beyond the 17. where it is 2nd down and 13 for Notre Dame. Take it to Walker. Quinn keeps it, looks, pulls it down, takes off, gets to the 10. Got a Panther down. Looks like J.J. Horn will be the injured player.
Horn started at linebacker. He splits time there normally with Brian Bennett. And this is Chris McKillop, number 41, is a defensive end. So 2 Pitt Panthers down on 1 play.
Wow. That shakes up the defensive alignment considerably too, because McKillop, he's a backup, but still a steady fellow, a sophomore. He's up and about now, but walking gingerly.
Yeah, he got clipped by one of the players just trying to make a tackle on his own team. This appears to be a cramp, which is a good sign. And they try to straighten the leg out there, trying to straighten out the muscle. And a lot of times early in the season, you see players cramp up. They're in good shape, but not quite in game shape yet. McKillop there, number 41, goes flying. You can see his own man took his legs out from under him.
I sit down and stretch it out. It's unusual in this ball game that the coordinators are on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith. Charlie Weiss obviously is on the sidelines. He is basically calling all the plays and running the offense. Rick Minter, his defense coordinator, is on the field. Paul Rhodes is down on the sideline coordinating the defense for the Panthers. We've already seen Matt Cavanaugh.
He wanted Cavanaugh down on the field so he could go eyeball to eyeball with his quarterback. And we get the sign in motion, and Brady Quinn throws down the middle. The ball is caught. The receiver taken down at the 2-yard line. And that'll be a first down. That's Rima McKnight, who has that ability to hide in traffic and suddenly step out. And if you've got the time and the patience to wait, he'll find you.
He's number 5. Watch him just settle down there in the middle of that zone. He's a good size receiver, gives a good target to Brady Quinn. And now he has 100 receptions for the Irish in his career.
McKillop has come back into the ball game now for Pittsburgh. But it's 1st and goal for Notre Dame. Give it to Walker. Walker slows and then turns on the Jets. Goes right around Josh Lay and scores. So it's Notre Dame's first lead the ball game on the touchdown by Darius Walker, and he scored both the touchdowns for the Irish tonight.
Good blocking here by Aesop Schwab there, but watch this move there. Josh Lay is a senior, and he's got to go back and pick up some of his uniform because Darius Walker undressed him with that one.
DJ Fitzpatrick's kick for the point is good. And so at 13:07 to go in the first half, the Irish take the lead over the Pitt Panthers by a score of 14-10.
Tiger Woods, tomorrow 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on ABC Sports.
There's quite a goodly number of standing room folks on that circular structure across the way, and some down here at the bottom rail as well. 65,000 seats in Heinz Field, so the athletic director, Jeff Long, will have a happy trip to the Exchequer's office come Monday. Quite a night for this fellow.
Touchdown rushing, touchdown receiving. Not even half over.
35-yard line now as the Irish will kick it away. Carl Joria pops it straight up. Didn't go anywhere. And the Panthers come up and receive it And if he'd have remembered or had enough time, he could have put his hand up and called a fair catch and profited some by being tackled.
Our Pacific Life game summaries, our touchdowns so far this evening. Tyler Palko with the play action fake there. He finds Greg Lee 39 yards down the middle of the field. Puts Pitt up 7-0. The Irish respond, though, on a great play by Darius Walker. 51 yards on the screen pass and a lot of help from his Irish buddies. And what about this move? As he freezes Josh Lay, 14-10 Notre Dame.
And the Panthers go to the attack now. LeRod Stevens, he is a freshman, and he is a burner. But the Irish get a hold of him pretty quickly. He's picked up about 5 yards. Ambrose Wooden leading the tacklers for Notre Dame. LeRod Stevens, 5'7", 165-pound freshman out of Johnstown. He's wearing Stevens Howling on the back of his shirt. He's not listed that way in the program nor in the information book.
Matt Cavanaugh says he's got a special package for Stevens. We saw it right there. Just get him the ball out in space and let him use some of that quickness and speed.
Rashad Jennings, the big back, checks in now at tailback. Palko back looking to throw it. Throws it to Jennings. Jennings hit right as he catches it. He picked up. He got back to the line of scrimmage maybe. Brandon Hoyt at the time.
Time for our Chrysler passing playbook. On that 39-yard touchdown pass to Greg Lee, Tom Zibikowski is going to take the bite. He's the number 9 there, left side of the screen. He comes up on the play fake. That leaves the middle of the field wide open. And you can see how Palko led Greg Lee perfectly down the middle of the field.
It's 3rd down and 6 now for Pittsburgh. Pressure. Palko takes a pretty good lick as he gets back to the 40-yard line. Brandon Hoyt chased him down. And you hold your breath. He fumbled the football, and Notre Dame has recovered it. Derek Landry was on the bottom of the pile, and he had the ball.
Well, Notre Dame great at causing turnovers, but Pittsburgh never fumbled. Only 6 times all last season, but Brandon Hoyt with a textbook tackle gets his arm, his helmet, his shoulder right on the ball. You can see it come out. This might bring up a challenge, though, from the official upstairs. From this angle, is the ball out? Tough to tell.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Big hit by Hoyt as Palko, a head-first quarterback.
Referee Dennis Lipsky has stepped out.
Boy, that's going to be a tough review.
Is being reviewed.
It is being reviewed by Big East Conference officials. And Tyler Palko is on the sidelines, and he's shaken up.
Yeah, that's probably the more important thing, as rather than who has possession of this ball, because if Palko can't play, Pittsburgh's in real trouble. His elbow is down there. The ball is in his possession.
Now it comes out.
Then it comes out. I got to say that's Pittsburgh ball.
Yep, I agree.
What a great tackle, though. And this tackle not only almost causes a turnover, but it may have knocked Palko out of the game. Behind him is a true freshman, Bill Stull. Tall, rangy guy, but with absolutely no college football experience.
I'm glad I'm not being paid to make that call, but sitting here as an interested observer, seems to be that he was down.
Well, we can still get paid and make the call, though. It just doesn't count,
sure.
right?
That's right. It's kind of fun to be able to say things that don't mean anything.
Yeah, I love the fact that we are totally unaccountable.
They're your instant replay rules, and these are basically the ones that are, these are the rules that the Big East Conference is going to use. They've got ice on Palko's right wrist and hand.
You know, the key on this graphic is that the broadcast is the only replay source. So the pictures that we have just showed you are the pictures that the technical advisor is looking at right now. And there's that one coming up right here. And I believe he still has possession of the ball when that shoulder hits.
And the ball comes out.
And the ball comes out. You know, Stoll is not even warming up.
After further review, there is indisputable video evidence that showed that the runner is down. The ball will go back to Pittsburgh, 4th down and 1.
Moment with Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, since it is 4th down, Tyler Palko's not getting off the bench. They came over there examining the knuckle on his index finger. And from my vantage point, 15 feet away, not a doctor, it is extremely swollen. He's got an ice pack on it right now, and he's talking to Matt Cavanaugh. But even despite the fact that they are going to get the ball back, he is not coming off the bench. His backup is standing right behind him.
Is it right hand?
Right hand.
Right hand.
Non-throwing hand.
Okay. Grassel in, he will punt. And they need a big one here because the Irish are going to come out of this with pretty good field position. Zibikowski has drifted back inside the 20-yard line, respecting the leg.
It may be his non-throwing hand, Keith, but he still has to get under the center and take that snap. And if he's got a knuckle right in the middle of his hand that's swollen, boy, that can be very painful, just taking the exchange from the center. He probably will try a few practice snaps on the sidelines once that pain subsides.
If it does.
Yeah, that's a big if.
So the Panthers now will punt it away and hold their breath. And they do get a good punt out of Grassel. He runs him back to the 12-yard line. But he's got some room. Zibikowski, who's a defensive back, handles the ball well, and he comes up to the outside the 30 and fights his way up to about the 35.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He's a boxer at Notre Dame. He likes the scrum.
Yeah, he's done some amateur boxing in his time. 11:08 to go in the first half. We'll be right back. We're back, and all eyes are on the right hand of Tyler Palko. You can see it swelling as we look at hanging down. It hurts him. There's no question about it. He's trying to shake it and get rid of some of the pain. He's talking to the coach of the quarterbacks and the offensive coordinator, Matt Cavanaugh. And flashes of the past wandering through Matt's noggin, recalling what happened to him in the 1977 game. First down for Notre Dame. At the 35-yard line, Brady Quinn goes down the middle. Pass complete, and a good defensive play is made on Anthony Fasano by Brian Bennett. Fasano had a little daylight if he gets past Bennett.
First reception of the night for Anthony Fasano. Crossing route here. Good pass protection for Quinn. The middle of the field, he is wide open. Here comes the fine tackle there by Bennett. Or Fasano has that big gain you're talking about.
It is a first down up 47-yard line for the Irish. They're onside. And they go to the run with Walker, finding a hole on the right side. And the Irish offensive line is doing a pretty good job. He's got 8 yards on that carry. And here's John again.
Keith with the Dr. Pepper update. Chancey Stuckey of Clemson takes his punt and takes off. Look at the speed of this young guy. Stays on his feet, gets it to the end zone for a touchdown, 47 yards on the punt return, and Clemson grabs the lead over A&M at 10-3.
Form ain't following the forecast path, is it?
Not on opening day.
This is Walker again, wedging to the first down. Looks like he's got it. Of course, the stunner of the day so far was Oklahoma losing to TCU, but then Adrian Peterson suffered a high ankle sprain, and he may be gone for a little while. The Big East Conference has a bit of a different look this year, as you can see. Some gone and some have come. But they retain their BCS status. Panthers, of course, with the 2004 champ. Went to the Fiesta Bowl. This is Quinn looking deep. Goes to the sideline. Pass is thrown high. Caught by Fasano. Anthony Fasano, 6'4", 255-pound senior from Verona, New Jersey. A good player.
And among the tight ends that Weiss has coached or been on the staff with, guys like Ben Coates, Mark Bavaro, Daniel Graham, well, he likes tight ends. And when they can go up and catch the ball with their hands, as Fasano does here, you go from 6'5" to about 7 feet tall there. And that's too much for Mike Phillips, who's only 5'11".
Quinn's 8 out of 10 for 123 yards and 1 pick and 1 touchdown. He's going to throw it again. Goes again to the sidelines and again goes to Fasano. It's Carlson, 89, across the way making the catch. Tomorrow, Dr. Pepper College football kickoff weekend on ABC will feature West Virginia and Syracuse in a Big East battle. Craig Robinson making his debut as a college coach, head coach. Miami and Florida State will have at it Monday night here on ABC at 8 Eastern Time and 5 Pacific. So the weekend rolls along. And here comes another fella rolling along. His name is Walker. He probably is like a lot of running backs who can just tear you apart. He probably walks very slowly when he walks. But when he runs, he's got a motor that runs pretty well.
Well, he gets behind this big offensive line out in front there. It's Mark LaVore. But he's just good at setting up his blocks, bouncing to the outside, and then, you know, that old thing about courage and valor. Well, he's fighting another day, stepping out of bounds very easily. What a first half for Darius Walker.
He's out of there now, and Travis Thomas is in at that running back position, and Thomas with fresh legs gets it, slices into the middle, and goes down to the Pitt 5-yard line.
Well, for Charlie Weiss, he told me on Wednesday, Keith, that the strength of this football team is in the experience on offense. He's got 6 offensive linemen that can play. They're veteran. He's got 3 tight ends. On this drive, he's thrown to Carlson and Fasano. Most important thing, he's got a very good running back and a very good quarterback. This is a much improved Irish offense.
Second down at the 5-yard line, and again they go to Thomas, and he's going to get right down to the goal line. He may be far enough down there to have a first down. I thought for a minute he tumbled into the end zone.
And right now the offensive line of Notre Dame is dominating the weak link for Pittsburgh, and that's their defensive line. That was a simple blast play right up the middle, and that offensive line with Morton and Stevenson, Santucci right in the middle there, just blowing the Panthers off the line.
The ball is at the 1, and it is not a first down. It is 3rd down and a half a yard for the first down. First and goal. Schwab and Rashawn Powers-Neal. Powers-Neal, touchdown. Big old fullback stuck it in there.
Yeah, that's their big backfield. You put Schwab at 250 pounds at fullback. Back up Rashawn Powers-Neal, the tailback. He goes about 240. And again, behind this big offensive line, it's just no contest. Great block by LaVore. Schwab cleans up the linebacker there. Darren Thomas and Powers-Neal in easily.
Fitzpatrick for the point. Schmarza holds. Kick is good. So the Irish dominating the ball game now offensively, as Dan said, with that big line knocking Pitt off the ball.
The President of the United States.
Gina Davis is Commander-in-Chief. Premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
21-10 ball game. Notre Dame leading Pittsburgh and having their way with them right now. They're doing it, pounding on them.
Yeah, that was a heck of a drive for Notre Dame. Well, the length of the field there, and really we're never close to being stopped.
Fitzpatrick to kick it off for the Irish. Rod Stevens, Brandon Mason are waiting to receive it. It's a low liner, let it go. No, he picks it up. And coming across the field looking for some daylight, and he will not fumble the football short of the 20-yard line, and the scramble is on. Notre Dame's ball.
Well, one thing that Charlie Weis emphasized early in his brief career here for Notre Dame is special teams. Quickest way to turn a program around is to play good special teams. This is Shinandum Ndukwe with the recovery here, number 18. He's a starter. And one of the reasons that Weis plays a lot of starters on special teams is because he wants good coverage. He wants tackling, something that Notre Dame did not do very well last year.
And they just took it away from the small running back. They just simply got a hold of him, held him up, and squeezed the ball out.
True freshman, Rod Stevens.
And big opportunity here to put some real weight in this game. Just carrying here is Walker, and Walker is going to be cut down at just about the line of scrimmage. Pittsburgh is going to have to gamble some, it would seem to me, on defense to slow down this train.
Well, one of the interesting things about Wanstead's defense is right now HB Blades is getting up limping. They could not afford to lose their middle linebacker. But Paul Rhodes is Wanstead's defensive coordinator. He prefers a pressure style of defense. Wanstead prefers more of a conservative style, make the offense march down the field. But Notre Dame has been unstoppable in this first half. As you said, Keith, they may be dialing up some more blitzes here in a hurry.
First, trying to figure out what's the matter with HB Blades, and he's going to have to come out of the ball game because time was taken for him. And he must come out according to rule. But it looks like it could very well be cramps.
Already saw J.J. Horn leave the field, starting linebacker, with a case of the cramps.
Scott McKillop now will have to come in and play that middle linebacker position. Notre Dame owns the ball, second down and 10 at the Pitt 19-yard line, and they're leading 21-10.
A lot of tackles are sitting on the bench with cramps right now.
Brady Quinn looking to strike, goes to the end zone. Touchdown! Jeff Marja.
It always amazes me, Keith, how wide receivers are totally fearless and focused on the ball. Smarja running as fast as he can across the back of the end zone, totally oblivious to the defenders around him, lays out, totally lays out, and makes a spectacular catch.
And he's another one of the big ones. He's 6'5", 216 pounds. He's also the holder for the kicker.
And are we having a review here?
Being reviewed.
Well, it may have something to do with whether or not he possessed it.
Look, he's got two men around him, pulls the ball in, rolls over, touchdown. No review.
Ball never, I don't see the ball anywhere near the ground.
Spectacular catch and body control. Look at him spin his body to protect the ball from the ground. You won't see a better catch than that, especially on opening day. You know what, Keith? That's his first career touchdown reception.
After further review, the touchdown stands.
That one wasn't too hard.
But we're 2 for 2, pal.
It's easy out here.
That was easy. We'll throw that one back.
kick is good. And so it's now Notre Dame 28, Pitt 10. You've got 6:03 to play in the first half.
This is really an exciting time to be in the Big East Conference, as we welcome 3 new teams: the Cincinnati Bearcats, Louisville Cardinals, and USF Bulls.
We also welcome 2 new coaches: Dave Wanstead, Pitt;
Greg Robinson, Syracuse. This is the new Big East, building a bright future
on a foundation of rich tradition,
with a BCS bid to the champion.
Welcome to hard-hitting, exciting football every week in the Big East Conference.
28-10 ball game right now, and the Irish have taken control. They just simply put together a ground attack, and it made it, every time Brady Quinn stepped up to throw, it looked like he had his choice. He could go shopping.
Well, he's 10 for 12 for 207 yards. And that offensive line is the key, though, Keith.
Yep. Sure.
Keeping his britches clean.
And Walker's having a heck of a night, the tailback.
Yes, he is.
So H.B. Blades has gone to the clubhouse, I suspect, to get some liquids, because both legs, by the time he got to the sidelines a while ago, both of his legs had cramped on him. They've rubbed him down, and you can see he's walking quite well, and Tyler Palco has a badly swollen right hand. The kick carries well downfield, and this is Marcus Furman. And Furman, with a determined run, gets it up near the 40-yard line. So a good return for Marcus. The Dr. Pepper College Football Weekend Kickoff Weekend on ABC Sports is brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability. Only in a Jeep 4x4. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. Is it in you? Aflac. Ask about it at work. And Subway, experience the great new taste of fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh. Pittsburgh now trying to crank it up and get something going, and Tyler Palco is in the ball game. Throws downfield, and the pass is incomplete. You got a penalty flag thrown on the play. Probably interference by the defense.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Tom Zibikowski. He had a whole bunch of jersey on Greg Lee.
Pass interference, number 9 of the defense. At the 15-yard previous spot, automatic first down.
This is a great read by Palco. You saw Mike Richardson on the corner blitz from the boundary. That meant Zibikowski has to come over from his safety spot. If this ball is thrown down the field, Palco kind of threw that ball off balance. If he gets the ball out in front, it's no contest. Lee would be in the end zone right now.
Yeah, we've already seen his speed tonight. He can move it. It is first down on the Irish side of the field now for Pittsburgh. Been a while since they've been over there. Palco's pass completed to this side of the field to Del Sarno, and penalty flags all over the place as he is run out of bounds. Ambrose Wooden and Indukwe involved in that one with Del Sarno.
But he grabbed the face mask.
Yeah, they call those pretty quickly.
It's hard to hide them. The head jerks away,
That's right.
especially in the open field like that.
Face mask, number 22 of the defense. At the half the distance to the goal.
That is a major face mask call. Let's check in with John Saunders again.
Keith, USC at Hawaii. Matt Leinart steps back and has a wide open Steve Smith, who goes 67 yards for the touchdown. That's following a Hawaii touchdown. It's now 35-10 Trojans, number 1 team in the nation, still on top.
Jerry Glanville, of course, is the defensive coordinator for June Jones in Hawaii right now, and he's probably ready to jump on that cowboy hat he wears. There's no gain on that play as they hand it off into the middle to Tim Murphy. Now time for this week's Aflac trivia question. Who holds the Pitt record? Now this is really hard, folks. Who holds the Pitt record for the most rushing yards in a game?
Pitt, running back. Rushing. Did we already see his face in the first half here?
I think so. Him.
Quack, quack.
Falco rolling out, buying time. A little flip pass ahead is incomplete. Remember, he's playing with a very, very sore right hand. And probably sore enough that his whole body feels it.
Yeah, that's a real big miss, though. He hasn't missed often tonight. But he's not the same quarterback he was earlier in the game before the injury. He's thrown the ball off balance. That time he misses a wide open Steve Bucus. There's the injury. It's Brandon Hoyt with the helmet right on the right hand, the middle knuckle of Tyler Palco.
Ball is on the 14-yard line. LaRod Stevens is in the lineup. It is 3rd down and 10. Palco's pass thrown, drilled downfield to about the 6. That's not going to be a first down. Eric Gill, the big tight end, made the catch, his second of the night, but he took it at the 6, and they needed to go near the 4.
This will bring up a decision time for Wanstead. Gill is number 45. He caught 6 passes last year against the Irish. Gets close to the first down here. It looks like Wanstead with his first big decision in his coaching career here at Pitt, going for it on 4th down.
Well, he's down 28-10, and Notre Dame has called the timeout.
Not that hard a decision, huh?
No. So Dave Wanstead down 28-10. Rather have a touchdown here before he goes to the clubhouse at halftime.
It all starts on ABC Sports tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. when Syracuse hosts West Virginia. Then on Monday night at 8 p.m., number 9 Miami and number 14 Florida State write the next chapter in their fierce rivalry. ABC's Monday Night Football gets its official start on Thursday when the Raiders meet the Patriots at 9 p.m. And next Saturday on ABC, a triple header of college football beginning with Notre Dame at number 4 Michigan and ending with number 2 Texas and number 6 Ohio State in primetime. The following Monday night, we return to the pros as the Eagles face off against the Falcons.
Of course, what's happening here tonight won't involve the Big East Conference. So if Notre Dame plays in the Big East in basketball and some other sports, but not football. Pitt, of course, is in the Big East. Totally. Ball is on the 6-yard line.
Oh, my, Keith. Look at here.
And they've changed their mind.
Unbelievable.
Well, quarterback must be hurting pretty badly. He's going to go for the field goal. Josh Cummings is in the ball game. Instead of going for the 2 yards to get the first down and maybe a touchdown later, they're going to go for the sure 3. They feel it's a sure 3 with Josh Cummings. Snap was high, but the kick is also high, but it's dead center. And it's 3 points from 23 yards out. And the score now is 28-15. The Aflac trivia question was, who holds the Pitt record for the most rushing yards in a game? And I'm sure this is just done according to the rules because you've already figured it out. And so is your grandson. Tony Dorsett, 303 yards, November 15, 1975. And you know who it was against? Notre Dame.
Yeah, but his name was Tony Dorsett.
Yes, it was.
At the time.
But in 76, when they went over there for the Dorsett cut of the grass. We'll show you that later on because it was very quick decision. It was zoom, Tony's gone. Bring the more, bale the hay, get the truck out, let's everybody go have supper. 61 yards and boom, 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 and they went on to win the ball game as Tony ran for 181 yards, 31-10, and Pitt went on that year to win the national championship.
And Irish fans hate to see that because Tony gained more yards rushing against the Irish than any other player in Irish history.
Bill Fleming dropped the ball on the sidelines, a golf ball. You couldn't see it.
The grass was a little long, was it? But you know, the thing is that makes all those big guys slower than, you know, they're not going to catch Tony anyway.
That's exactly right. But that was Dan. Dan's also the coach who brought out the green jerseys, remember? When Southern California was in the town.
Worked pretty good that day.
Ooh-wee, did it ever. John McKay went home, painted everything blue. At the 6, Justin Hoskins. And Hoskins returns it out near the 30. Todd Harris with a report.
Well, Keith, he's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. He's also the 76 Heisman Trophy winner, and that's why you won't see a number 33 in the stadium where they retired that jersey. Tony Dorsett, congratulations on all your success, but your team is down. If you're the coach, what do you tell them?
Well, it's a long game, you know. Just keep your heads up and just stick to the plan and just, you know, don't make any mistakes. Just a long game. Anything can happen. You know, we got a whole half to come out and play still yet, but you know, it's long from being over.
Do you remember the game against Notre Dame that you hung 300 on them?
Oh, I most certainly do. Yes, I do. But, you know, the Fighting Irish have been very kind to me in my career at the University of Pittsburgh here.
Your thoughts on Dave Wannstedt now taking over the Pitt program?
I'm very happy for Dave. You know, it's a new era. It's a new time. You know, he's a native here. He's an alumnus here. He knows what Pitt football is all about. And we're just hoping and praying he can get this team back on track and bring us back to prominence.
Congratulations on all your success. And Dan, he's also a member of your club, the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I had conversation with him a couple of days ago. I'll play a piece of that for you in a bit. Right now we have a first down for Notre Dame at their own 41-yard line, leading 28-13. Brady Quinn looking around. He's thrown down pretty hard, but he completed his pass to Rashawn Powers-Neal out of the backfield, and he's got a big play for the Irish all the way down to the Pittsburgh 41-yard line. I asked Dave Wannstedt how hard it was to make the decision to come back to college football and come back to Pitt, and this is what he said.
You know, this is probably the only place that that excited me, and I felt like it's something I always thought about even when I was coaching in the NFL all those years, and I think this is probably the only place that would have really worked.
He turned it down the first time they called him. Thought about it. Wound up going. Now you've got contact along the line of scrimmage, and that draws a bunch of penalty flags.
False start, number 68, offense.
But the penalty goes against the Irish.
Remains first down.
I need to say this to you, that there will be no sound bites from Charlie Weiss tonight, because Charlie, about 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, decided he'd had enough television interviews, and he sawed them off and stopped them for everybody, and that included us. That he wanted to have more time to get his work done, more attention to put on his team and not him. He has stuck with the decision, and we certainly respect it. But we will run Dave Wannstedt because he did talk to us.
And Charlie was very gracious to me, let me come to practice, talk to his coaches, and spent a lot of time just talking to the main guy himself.
I certainly understand it. He's got tired of it. Ball is drilled to Raymond McKnight. He's got a first down at inside the 30-yard line. Mike Phillips made the tackle.
That's his third catch of the night. We got a hot quarterback here. Brady Quinn, 9 completions in a row against a zone defense. Again, a veteran receiver did not run all the way full speed through that zone. Kind of choked his motor a little bit there and gave his quarterback a target.
And good news for Panther faithful. H.B. Blades is back on the field. First down for the Irish. And here comes Walker. Darius with that little pause, a little hesitation that freed him from the first man. And he's down close to the 22-yard line. Just a little short of the first down.
J.J. Horn is back in the game as well. And Anthony Fasano is going to be blocking on him. Watch number 88 here. There's Horn, and that's just a real fine job by Fasano, not grabbing the jersey, just keeping his feet moving and pushing Horn out of the play. This is a well-coordinated rushing attack for the Irish.
Walker's run 12 times for 61 yards, caught 3 passes for 52 yards, and he does not mind sticking his head into the stack. That was Schwab carrying there. He's a 250-pound fullback.
You know, Keith, Notre Dame is responding every time Pittsburgh scores. Every time they get the ball, they're responding. And again, you see a Pitt Panther.
I think it's Blades again. No, not Blades. It's 91, Phil Tillman, not 51. So Phil Tillman is in there as the linebacker right now, and he's the man who's struggling with what appears to be another case of the cramps. Sometimes when they start working on you and getting a hold of you, you can't get rid of them. It's hard. And boy, does it hurt.
This Notre Dame offensive line, you've got Ryan Harris this is his 20th start. Bob Morton has started 23 games now. So has Dan Stevenson. Mark LaVore started 25. The only youngster on the offensive line is Dan Santucci. This is just his second start, but Weiss says he's our toughest offensive lineman.
Schwab's thump into the line got him the first down, so it's first down at the Pittsburgh 18-yard line. And here's Rashawn Powers-Neal. They're content right now just to take those big backs and just beat on them, and every once in a while Walker shows up and zip.
Yeah, a lot of different personnel changes. Another Weiss trademark. We've seen 3 tight ends in the game. We've seen 3 wide receivers. Rashawn Powers-Neal has carried a couple of times from tailback and fullback, caught a couple of passes. 303 yards on offense. We still got a minute and 50 seconds to go in the first half for Notre Dame.
Ball is thrown very quickly to the sideline, caught by Samardzija, who has already had 1 touchdown reception, but he was turned to the outside on the play by the defender, Josh Lay, and he stopped a yard short of the first down, but he is inside the 10.
10 in a row now for Quinn, matching his number. The thing I like is he's dealing it to all his receivers. Backs out of the backfield, tight ends, wide receivers. The whole playbook is in for Notre Dame.
Third and a long yard for the first down, and into the end zone goes Rashawn Powers-Neal. A dominant second quarter. I mean a dominant second quarter by the Irish. 5 touchdowns in 6 possessions.
We need a holder out here, Keith. We got the place kicker. Look at Fitzpatrick looking around for Jeff Samardzija.
Now they got to spend the timeout.
Oh, that'll raise the ire of Charlie Weiss. He goes right to the special teams coordinator.
That's Brian Polian, Bill's boy.
Take a look at the touchdown. Nothing fancy about this. This is just power football. You got Schwab at 44 as the lead back, and then a huge hole for Rashawn Powers-Neal. Only guy that had a shot at him was the weak safety, Tez Morris.
Big old John Sullivan helped him get started, and he high-stepped 1 defender to get into the end zone.
Yeah, Sullivan can play center for Morton. Morton will move to Santucci's spot or Stevenson's spot. So you have 4 men right there that can stay fresh and move around in the middle of the offensive line.
Now that Jeff Samardzija has been chastened somewhat, he's back to his chore of holding the ball for the kicker. And he pops it up and through. So DJ continues to hammer it on target tonight. And look at that. Second quarter, Notre Dame went for 21 points. Pittsburgh managed 3, and our score is kind of lopsided, isn't it?
This type of performance will open some eyes for future Notre Dame opponents. Toughest schedule in college football. And they're off to a great start here in the first half, but they got to go at Michigan, and they get Michigan State at home. But 3 of their next 4 games are on the road. And all the prognosticators saying that they were going to be 0-6, 1-5, 1-6. Well, this might be the one, but that's a good start.
Well, Michigan's going to be a little cranky. How about last year?
Oh, yeah.
And they seem to ease up a bit in the late going today, but they won rather handily. The big upset of the day was Oklahoma losing to TCU. And at the same time, having Peterson, their great running back, get hurt on a high ankle sprain. Carl Joria kicking it off now. That's again a short kick. And a fair catch is called. Can't run after you stick that arm up.
Take a look at Dave Wanstead's team is going to face in the Big East. Next week they play Frank Solich's team at Ohio. Then they got to go into Frank Solich's old team at Nebraska before Youngstown State, and they start conference play with Rutgers.
Well, Rutgers pretty good today.
Had a heck of a game, didn't they?
Illinois had a fantastic comeback in that fourth quarter to get in overtime and pull it out. But Rutgers was a handful. Tyler Palco throws on the numbers to number 84, the big tight end Bucus. And Bucus is out for about 8 yards. A minute and 25 seconds to play now, as you see the clock running up there. 35-13, Notre Dame is leading.
Second down 2.
Second and 2, little quick pop to the sidelines. That is completed to Greg Lee. Lee has been very quiet. Notre Dame was able to handle him in the second half last year, even though they lost the ball game. But
yeah, that's only his second catch of the night. His first one was the touchdown, but nobody covered him on this play. He was standing out there all by himself, waving at Palco, got his attention, got the pass.
Clock stopping on the first down play at a minute 13. It'll start to roll on the snap. Let's see how he handles this shotgun. That's okay. Pass thrown quickly again, and again it's right on target to Bucus. And he uses those tight ends, doesn't he?
Yeah, Bucus and Gill had big games last year against Notre Dame. In fact, Bucus scored 2 touchdowns.
Clock running, inside a minute to go now, and he's back to throw again on a quick snap. Getting pressure, gets it away, throws it in the crowd. So that stops the clock at 49 seconds.
Yeah, this one ain't over because Palco can bring his team from behind and win football games. See what he did last season against Furman, Temple, BC, Notre Dame, and West Virginia. This is a tall order because his defense has no clue and no answer for Charlie Weiss's offense.
They may not have the people sufficient to play it.
They're dropping like you know what.
Yep. 3rd and 1. There's your first down. That'll stop your clock, and the ball goes to the Irish 45-yard line where Pitt will have it. And as soon as the referee winds it, the clock will start rolling.
This is where you have the luxury for Wanstead to have a quarterback with experience. We still have 2 timeouts.
A lot of time. Almost pulled in by Derek Kinder. Almost.
And almost intercepted by Mike Richardson. Richardson, who has had a tough time against a lot of passing teams, makes a great play here. Good body position, and Kinder just with enough strength to pull it out of his hands, or that one's picked off.
At the Irish 45.
Second down and 10 with 36 seconds remaining in the first half. Palco getting some heat now and will be taken down. And they'll spend the timeout. He's trying to get the timeout called. And I don't think they're going to. Now they finally stop it.
Oh, they wasted a lot of time, too.
Well, he was, Palco was trying to call timeout.
Yeah, the officials missed that one. He got up. He was trying to signal for that timeout and then didn't get it. Tried to hustle his team to the line. A lot of wasted seconds.
They'll have 20 seconds remaining when play resumes with Notre Dame out in front 35-13. A lot of scoring. All over the country, a lot of scoring this opening weekend. And Not so terribly many, at least so far, that we could see at mid-afternoon, but not all that many games had been really lopsided.
This one's starting to get a little lopsided.
This one's getting lopsided.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has to get a touchdown out of this drive. You know, a field goal, what does that make it? Not much, 19 points down. A touchdown, they're basically 2 scores down going into halftime and feeling a lot better about themselves. But right now, they just look like a team that's really, really struggling on both sides of the ball.
But they're wounded. Halko pumps it, trying to spring somebody loose. Now lets it go. Lee's back there. Ndukwe defending against Lee. Lee trying to come back to the ball. Looked like Greg might have lost his footing a little bit and couldn't come back to it.
Yeah, ball just underthrown a little bit. He threw it as far as he can. That's a cheap shot. That's a late hit. Where's the flag on Victor Abiamiri? Here's the slip right there, Keith, as Ndukwe kind of pushes Lee away from the ball. No flag on either end of that play.
Here's the punt, and this should end the half. There's penalty flags all over the field as the ball goes into the end zone, and the clock is stopped at 1 second.
This may be too many men for Notre Dame on the field. We count them up real quick. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Maybe not. Maybe delay a game.
That's illegal participant, isn't it? Participation.
Well, maybe somebody a little bit late getting to the sidelines because they got 11 out there.
Illegal substitution.
Substitution.
There were 12 players on the field. The 12th player was attempting to get off and did not prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat. 4th down.
For those of you who wish to give something to help those who have been victims of the terrible thing that happened down in the Gulf Coast area, here is the telephone number for the Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. So if you'd like to, write it down and please do what you can. Because it is in my lifetime of almost 4 decades, almost 8 decades, the worst tragedy that I can recall, a natural problem that's happened to our country. Just devastating.
Yep.
We've still got 1 second remaining after that penalty call, and Josh Cummings is out there, but I don't know for what reason.
You know what? They were going to not let him try that 59-yard field goal. They're going to bring the offense back out and maybe just throw the Hail Mary here. It's not a bad idea. Greg Lee's a big leaper at 6'2". He would be the main target, I would think. But, you know, that illegal participation penalty, little consolation, a play late for the Panther fans as they saw their quarterback get decked and then Lee get interfered with in the end zone. And a ticky-tack call on a guy running to the sideline, totally out of the play, and they're going to throw a flag on that. I'm in mid-season form ripping the officials, Keith, aren't I?
Yeah, you got that rant going pretty good.
That's that old unaccountability from the press box.
Is it hard if I walk well behind you?
Hey, you're my bodyguard.
42-yard line, and Palco. They're going to get some heat if they can, but he's got time. Now he lets it go, and it's into the end zone. Intercepted, actually, by Zibikowski, and the first half is over. Score at halftime is Notre Dame 35 and Pittsburgh 13. Now let's spend a moment with Todd as he talks to Coach Wannstedt.
Coach, what do you have to fix in the second half to get back in this game?
We got to make a play on defense. I mean, this is, you know, we're just playing on our heels. We're playing soft, and we have not made a play on defense to try to get a little bit of confidence. Right now, we're we're playing very, very tentative.
What, if anything, has your quarterback told you about injury to his right hand?
He's fine. There's no problem with that.
Good luck in the second half. Keith?
Thank you, Todd. Coming up next, the Valvoline halftime show with Notre Dame leading Pitt 35-13. John Craig Aaron will get you caught up on the big day in college football with scores and highlights from around the country.
Welcome to the Valvoline halftime show, and everything has gone the way of the Irish. A 35-13 lead at halftime. John Saunders, Craig James, and Aaron Taylor. We all know Aaron Taylor played at Notre Dame, but this is his second year in the studio. He is now a journalist. We know he's not excited about the way this team has come up, but I'll start with you about the Irish and how they look.
Very much. You know what, the screen pass. What about that screen? Mr. Journalist over here, you've been over here rah-rah so much. But, you know, when you look at Charlie Weiss on the sidelines, he has that look of determination and of total confidence, man. You look at him and you say, okay, this guy's going to call a play. The players know that it's supposed to work, and they're supposed to execute the play. Brady Quinn is playing football. Brady Quinn's playing better than Tyler Palko, who we all thought was going to be better than Brady Quinn. In that way. And those little dump pass, screen passes has really opened up Pittsburgh's defense.
They've been very effective. And something else that I saw from Notre Dame that makes me very, very happy is that they're using some of these and some of this. They're playing physical. Charlie Weiss has brought an attitude to this Notre Dame team, apparently, from what we're watching tonight, where the linebackers, the DBs, everybody is flying around the ball and they're being physical. That is something that we haven't seen at Notre Dame, and I think the players are starting to buy into a system. It's going to be very interesting to see the effect that he has. Nobody gave Notre Dame a chance going on the road, but they're showing that they have a team.
In this game here, I didn't think they'd win this game.
Exactly.
So much for the journalist there with the muscle flexing. Number one team in the nation. And 1936 was when the AP started their poll. No one's won 3 in a row. 10 teams have won 2 in a row, including USC and Matt Leinart. The big reason why. 20 yards though. Reggie Bush goes here and a 21-3 lead. Then Leinart hooks up with Dwayne Jarrett.
And this is really no surprise at all. Matt Leinart's having a field day with his defense. They just don't have the athletes. Most schools don't have the athletes to deal with USC and all the weapons that they have.
Leinart with 3 touchdown passes. USC, of course, has won 22 consecutive games. Texas, the number 2 team in the nation, facing Louisiana Lafayette. And Vince Young is a guy who looked so good last year in the Rose Bowl. You wondered if he could win the Heisman this year. 20 yards to David Thomas here.
Everybody knocks Vince Young for his inability to be able to throw, but look at that. 13 completions, 17 attempts. He's a very, very accurate passer. I look for improvement for Vince Young this year in the passing game.
3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run as well. 60-3. They face Ohio State next week on ABC. Boise State facing Georgia. DJ Shockley. What type of day did he have? Milner here, the reception for the touchdown. Shockley had 5 touchdown passes and a touchdown run.
It's obvious that Georgia had Boise State on their mind throughout the summer. They recognized that this was a team that had only lost 2 times in the last 2 seasons. So they took them serious. They came out and they played well, and Shockley had a big day for them.
The 5 touchdown passes tying a school record. Boise State turned it over 6 times. Georgia Tech facing Auburn. Reggie Ball. Watch the hang time on this thing. This doesn't even look like it's going to get there.
2, 3, 1,000. 3, 1,000.
Elvin Johnson hauls it in. Georgia Tech leading Auburn 10-7. Remember, Auburn did not lose a game last year. Texas A&M facing Clemson. Courtney Lewis with a touchdown run for A&M. Chancey Stuckey had a punt return for a touchdown. 16-10. You like the urgency in this game.
But the sense of urgency, the hard-hitting, a physical game, a whole lot like Notre Dame and Pittsburgh right now. I mean, you see these 2 teams out there flying around, a lot of intensity in this football game. And Charlie Whitehurst with a new offensive coordinator, Rod Spence from Toledo, the mad scientist, he's come in there and it's working out.
There's going to be a lot of aspirin and a lot of ice buckets going on in both these games. Very, very physical. One of the things that Texas A&M struggled with last year is special teams. Their return game was terrible. Clemson having the edge. They got a big return early on in the game. I think I'd look to see Texas A&M try and get something done.
Urban Meyer wins his first game as head coach of Florida, 32-14 over Wyoming. In that game, 17 straight completions for Chris Leak. That is a school record-breaking one held by Steve Spurrier. More scores and highlights as we continue with the Valvoline Halftime Show.
The Valvoline Halftime Show, brought to you by Valvoline Max Life Motor Oil, engineered to help extend the life of your car.
50 years ago, the University of Pittsburgh developed the first vaccine that conquered polio. In the 1980s, we became the world's leading center for organ transplantation. Today, our researchers continue at the forefront of medical breakthroughs, targeting cancer, Alzheimer's, and other debilitating diseases in our quest to improve human health. The University of Pittsburgh. We're building the future together.
This is really an exciting time to be in the Big East Conference as we welcome 3 new teams: the Cincinnati Bearcats,
Louisville Cardinals,
and USF Bulls.
We also welcome 2 new coaches. Dave Wanstead, Pitt.
Greg Robinson, Syracuse. This is the new Big East.
Building a bright future
on a foundation of rich tradition.
With a BCS bid to the champion.
Welcome to hard-hitting, exciting football. Every week in the Big East Conference.
3 straight days of college football continues tomorrow here on ABC as West Virginia takes on Syracuse in a matchup in the Big East early conference game. Time now for the no-huddle highlights. And the problem was the huddle for Oklahoma. And who wasn't in there for Bob Stoops? Jason White, Heisman Trophy winner a couple years ago, finalist last year. Rhett Bomar fumbles here. TCU picks it up.
TCU defense showed up when momentum went to Oklahoma. Score tied at 10. The offense gets the ball back. Ty Gunn, who had a spectacular day and not making too many mistakes, to Robert Merrill for the touchdown. Put him on top.
And Paul Thompson didn't have any better luck at quarterback.
The offensive line for Oklahoma very porous today. The backs getting involved. Oklahoma just wasn't very physical up front.
Come up with the loss. Now UAB facing Tennessee. Tennessee also going with different quarterbacks. Eric Ainge, 4 yards to Chris Hannon. They had a 10-3 lead. And then Rick Clausen, 13 yards to C.J. Fate.
It's almost like that Coach Fulmer was trying to take care of everybody's mama and make everybody happy out there, and it just didn't work today. UAB hung in the game.
Very, very close one. Northern Illinois against Michigan. This one was not very close. Chad Henne, remember, came out of nowhere as a freshman a year ago, now a sophomore. 34 yards to Mike Hart, who also is a sophomore, and he gets a touchdown.
The little pit bull getting it done on the road, the sophomore-to-sophomore connection. Michigan, very, very good offense, arguably one of the best in the Big Ten.
Kevin Grady on the ground with the touchdown here. Henne, 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. Miami of Ohio facing Ohio State. Josh Betts gets sacked by A.J. Hawk. And the Buckeyes have a 10-0 lead at this point. It was going to be an easy game because they could go to their third-string quarterback, Todd Beckman, 43 yards, Ed Ginn Jr.
Well, Ginn Jr. was all over the field. They really spread the ball around the field today, and Santonio Holmes had a touchdown. Ohio State's defense played well. They're getting ready for Texas next week. It's going to be a good matchup.
27th straight home opening win for Ohio State. Meanwhile, as far as home openers go, first home opening loss for Oklahoma since 1996, and it was TCU that did it to them again.
So you're saying they're not going to open with TCU anymore?
They better not. I wouldn't rethink that.
Hey, you really saw today how important the quarterback position is. Like you said, John, without Jason White in the huddle, the Oklahoma Sooners just didn't have anything going offensively. And on defense, where in the world was a playmaker, a difference maker, somebody that would come up and smack somebody and turn the ball over? Oklahoma didn't have that today.
I think the glaring defense, guys, between this year and last year is that Oklahoma doesn't have leadership. All those players that left, all those guys, those seniors, they have talent there, but they don't have the players in leadership. Everybody who's looking around for somebody else to make a play, that's not the Oklahoma team we're used to seeing.
A team that has played for back-to-back national championships, and 3 of the last 5 look lost today. This is the Valvoline Halftime Show.
The Valvoline Halftime Show, brought to you by Valvoline Max Life Motor Oil, engineered to help extend the life of your car.
Alias, the new season begins Thursday, September 29th, 8/7 Central, only on ABC. On Tuesday, September 27th.
The president has had a stroke.
For the first time in history,
The vice president assumes the presidency.
a woman will be
President of the United States. We don't need the world to see a soft, indecisive woman commanding the troops.
We can save this country, save it from her.
The truth is, I know I can do this.
Oscar winner Gina Davis and Emmy winner Donald Sutherland. Commander-in-Chief premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
I played in the Super Bowl as well as the World Series. And the Florida State-Miami rivalry is right next to that.
Everybody across the world who has Hurricane written on their bloodline is watching that game.
I didn't beat Miami not one time, so I'm still upset, a little bitter about that mess.
You can lose every game off your whole season, but you can't lose that one to Florida State.
That's Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Miami at Florida State. Now, you heard Deion Sanders say he never beat Miami. There's a lot of guys in Florida State saying the same thing because they've lost the last 6.
I've been at one of these games. It's intense, no doubt about it. I mean, when you get out there, these guys are flying around. They've known each other since they were young kids playing pee-wee football for the most part. It's intense.
I think what's going to tell the tale of this game is going to be defense early on. I know everybody's looking at the quarterbacks, but it's going to be defenses and maybe the running games. Both those coaches don't want to throw those quarterbacks to the Wolves.
Again, that's Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Right now, for an update on Hurricane Katrina, let's join Dan Harris of ABC News.
Good evening. I'm Dan Harris in New York. Help is arriving at an accelerated pace now in the Gulf Coast area, devastated by Hurricane Katrina. President Bush has ordered an additional 7,000 active duty troops into the area. The Superdome and the Convention Center in New Orleans, where 45,000 people endured filthy, dangerous conditions for nearly a week, are finally empty tonight. Many evacuees tell of rapes and murders. People still stranded in their homes are receiving airdrops of water and food from military helicopters now. Survivors are getting out of the city by plane, train, and bus. But the deluge of people descending on other cities is overwhelming. Stay with ABC News for updates and tune in tomorrow morning for Good Morning America and This Week with George Stephanopoulos. I'm Dan Harris in New York.
This is all my fault. We crashed on this island because of me. Because bad stuff happens to people when I'm around, and I don't know why. I try to tell everyone that everything happens for a reason, but they don't take me seriously. They should.
I'm Valerie Lego. Grand Rapids prepares to take in victims of Hurricane Katrina. They're heading this way tomorrow. More on that story tonight after the game.
13 on your sidelines. Friday nights at 11 on WZZM 13.
During the halftime, 4 Pitt Panthers were honored for their entry into the Hall of Fame. Among the newest, Dan Marino, the great quarterback, and of later Miami Dolphins. Tony Dorsett was here, Joe Schmidt was honored, and Mike Ditka. Our score at halftime, 35-14. Notre Dame is playing downhill right now, and Pittsburgh is desperately in need of some expression from their defensive people, because the drive summary, Dan, tells quite a story.
Yeah, the Nissan drive summary tells you that Notre Dame's had 6 possessions in the first half. Only one time did they turn the ball over. No punts. Total domination by Charlie Weiss's Irish, and Todd Harris caught up with them moments ago.
Coach, what'd you tell the kids at halftime?
I told them they've only played 30 minutes of football and don't feel too happy about themselves yet.
Your thoughts on your quarterback's play in that first half?
They played pretty well. He made a lot of good decisions, except for that one interception. You know, he really played well.
Welcome back to college football. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Ready to go now with the kickoff to start the second half. Pitt took it, having won it and received it. Now they will kick it away, and the Irish will start out of the end zone. That ball was kicked about 5 yards deep into the end zone, and Justin Hoskins put his knee down, and they'll take it out of the 20-yard line. Your comments on that first half?
Well, it's just couldn't be better for Charlie Weiss. I mean, a lot of questions about his team coming in. Were they going to be ready? They seem very disciplined. They seem totally in control. And for Wannstedt and the Panthers, as he said going into the locker room at halftime, they got to make a play on defense. They are playing as if they're wearing roller skates right now.
Now they're in a position where they've got to do some gambling. They don't have any choice. So let's see what happens. Quinn stands up quickly, throws to the outside. Maurice Stovall eludes the first tackler. Shook him loose and went on up the field to pick up a first down. He got away from Josh Lay.
Well, our Pacific Life game summary, the first half stats, and it's all Notre Dame. 319 yards in total offense there. Brady Quinn, 14 of 16 for 197, and running back Darius Walker in total offense has 113 total yards, 52 receiving, and 61 on the ground.
First down on their first offensive play of the second half from the 36. They go to that side again. The ball ricochets off the shoulder pad of Stovall, almost picked off by Lay. It is incomplete.
Notre Dame had a good second quarter, obviously. Rashawn Powers-Neal takes his 2-yarder in there for 21-10 lead. Then on the next kickoff, Shinadu Mugwe gets the fumble recovery and a spectacular catch. 2 plays later, Quinn hits Jeff Smarja, and it's been all Notre Dame.
That incompletion, incidentally, by Brady Quinn ended a streak of 11 consecutive completions. They broke a string. They run it up the middle with Powers-Neal, who had a big first half. Scored a touchdown. He carried the ball quite a bit in the late moments of the second quarter when Notre Dame dominated it by scoring 21 points.
Yeah, Quinn was close to breaking Ron Paulus's Notre Dame record of 14 consecutive pass completions set in '97 against Michigan State. The ball was on target, should have been caught.
All you quarterbacks say that.
That's right. Hit him in the hands, they should catch it.
43-yard line. Marges on this side, and he's looking at him, and he throws it underneath him, goes to the short guy, Fasano, the tight end. And on a 3rd down and 3 play, that's close to a first down.
That's really a smart play by Quinn. You always hear this, take what the defense gives you, but you also have to know the down and distance situation. You need 3 yards. Don't throw the ball down the field if you got somebody in a shorter zone that's got enough yardage for the first down.
Just short of the 49 now for this snap on first down. They'll run it here with Walker back into the ball game, and he's still going. He's got about 10 yards on the carry. Chris McKillop made the tackle for Pittsburgh. So the Panthers come out here and once again show that they simply don't have the manpower to stop Notre Dame's big offensive front.
Yeah, a simple case of strength against weakness. Notre Dame's strength, the offensive line. Wanstead's weakness, the defensive line.
41-yard line. Walker having a big night. Got it again and goes down. A little short of the line of scrimmage. This time Corey Davis, a 300-pound freshman, getting his first start tonight. Took him down.
I just don't like the body language of the Panthers. A lot of them limping off the field with cramps. Hands on hips, staring, disbelief in a lot of these eyes.
Second down 10.
Pretty early in the second half to have that look of being so dispirited, but they do for a fact. That's a good tackle. Ball comes out. Ball rolling around. Ball being scrambled for, and finally, I think a Notre Dame man comes over and covers it. Tez Morris had a shot at it as he took Carlson down, and the ball rolled around for quite some time before the Irish finally covered it.
Boy, you know, that's a great tackle. And that's a good call. That ball was loose. He had it pinned to his arm, between his arm and his side, but he never had control of it. And who recovered it but Brady Quinn?
Kind of hold your breath, though, when your quarterback starts diving into a crowd.
Yeah, head first.
Head first, yeah. Quinn back. Smarja going down the middle, crossing the field. Quinn pulls it down and takes off, dives into the 30-yard line. Dove right into a Panther and got away with it. It's first down.
He knew he had to go head first to pick up the first down. If he would have started to slide, he would have come up short. He's just aware that he's got to get to the 30-yard line, as he does. Breaks the pocket. Now everybody holds their breath.
Eric Thatcher, who is in the defensive secondary for Pitt, number 28. Man on the play. One of those.
Speaking of 28. Wow.
11:26 to go in the third quarter. Scores the same, 35-13. This whole development of downtown Pittsburgh is quite stunning to someone who hasn't been here in 20 years. I mean, it's just really quite fantastic. And they play on real grass here at Heinz Field. As our director, Derek Armbley, took you from the top to the bottom. I would imagine the grass might get a little skinny, though, as you get down and around the 1st of December. But
it's a little skinny now, but Notre Dame's not having any trouble with it.
Nope. It's firm. It's a flat, firm field.
Yeah, the other thing, you know, having PNC Park just a couple of blocks away, what a sight. Both stadiums right on the riverfront here. And the rejuvenated downtown, just beautiful.
Pirates played the Cubs over there, I think, this afternoon, didn't they?
Yep.
Pirates got a lot of young players coming along, especially some good young arms. Pitching staff. Quinn back. Jumps and throws, and it's incomplete. And actually, the closest man to it was an ineligible receiver.
Time for our IBM Star Watch, and why not? Let's watch Brady Quinn, who was a perfect 10 for 10 in the second quarter when the Irish went and scored 28 points. See right now, 17-21. The only blemish, an interception by Darrell Revis.
That was a good play on Revis' part.
Yes, it was. Irish have been perfect on, almost perfect on third down too, Keith. 7 out of 8.
3rd and 5 here. They snap it straight back to Darius Walker, and Walker gets over the 20. That's all he had to do. He's out of bounds at the 19-yard line. There's a penalty flag thrown on the sideline.
Well, you know the Irish are rolling when they pull out this trick play. It's the fake of the bad snap to Quinn and the direct snap to Walker. Big Mark LaVore out in front.
The runner made the first down. It'd be 1st and 10. And dead ball. Personal foul. Number 73. Offense. 15-yard penalty. First down. 1st and 10.
Mark LaVore taking his block a little bit too far. Shoving a defender out of bounds, about 6 yards out of bounds.
The umpire tonight, Carl Britt. Bob Bassett, the head linesman. The line judge is Tom Krispinski. Side judge, Joe Duncan. Henry Zaborniak, the field judge. Dino Paganelli, the back judge. And the clock operator is Jerry Ferber. Dan Martino, the 25-second clock tonight. There's penalty flags. There was folks moving around before that play got off and going.
Well, these last 2 plays will give Weiss something to yell about in practice this week. 6 penalties against the Irish tonight. The last 2 inexcusable. Lack of concentration.
They were on their way to the end zone, it looked like, and now they've made those 2 mistakes.
Shift. 2 players were moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat. First down.
I don't know how much the point will be belabored. He's doing a pretty good job of handling it right now.
Well, he's not going to wait till next week, huh?
No.
He's got him right there, right in front of him.
Get him while it's fresh. On first down and 15, the ball is thrown down the sideline, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Fasano, and it was defended by Darrell Revis, the other cornerback, who had the interception earlier in the ballgame. He's just a sophomore. Tomorrow night on ESPN2, Frank Beamer's Hokies will try to avenge last season's only in-conference loss. Jay Davis and North Carolina State will be waiting for the Virginia Techers to come to town. Marcus Vick now the quarterback. That's at 7:15 Eastern on ESPN2. Quinn Sack got the ball away, but there was a penalty flag before he threw the ball. Phil Tillman was the man that took him down. We might have a holding here. That's exactly right. And it's on Notre Dame. So that's 3 penalties. And just backed them right on up across midfield.
If it's a sack, they'll refuse this penalty and take the down.
Holding, number 74, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
Boy, I would refuse that and bring up 3rd down. You're giving Brady Quinn another down.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a sack, though.
Certainly looked like one.
It didn't. Now he got rid of it.
Yeah, that's intentional grounding is what that is.
Yes.
You can't do that either.
You got your druthers. So it's 2nd down and 25. Call it. Give or take. Throws it out there to Walker real quick, and Walker makes a good catch and makes a pretty good run out of it. And here comes an official across the field, and he's going to say he's down because they think his knee hit the ground when he caught the ball. Or the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, this ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it did hit the ground.
Incomplete. 3rd down.
Now it becomes a question of whether or not it was a lateral, and it was close.
Yeah, it was. That was a great call by the official. The guy that made the call was on the other side of the field, had a clear shot at it, though. He saw the ball, the point of the ball hit the ground.
So it'll be 3rd down and 25 now. 35-13 ball game. Notre Dame scored 21 points in the 2nd quarter and took control of the game. They made a bunch of mistakes lately here, and 3 penalties, and now Quinn does the hook slide down at the 40. They'll put him at the 41, and it'll bring up 4th down. And here is a flag thrown.
This is not what Dave Wanstead had in mind when he says our defense must make a play. I think they're going to get H.B. Blades for unsportsmanlike conduct here. Kind of lost his poise at the end of that play. I mean, Notre Dame was going to lay this one out for Pittsburgh. And
dead ball, personal foul, number 51, defense. At the 15-yard penalty with an automatic 1st down.
That's what hurts right there, is the automatic 1st down.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be 4th down. Pitt was going to get the ball back. Would have been 4th and 17.
Wow. When it goes bad, doesn't it?
It couldn't go any worse for Wanstead.
It's an automatic 1st down on that call. And so the Irish possess the ball at the Pitt 26. With a whole new series to go, and they'll just keep pounding away until they loosen them up a little bit. That was Powers Neal carrying. So they've got the big back in there. Is Schwab in too? That's the big combination of thumpers in. The 2 big guys, one 238, one 250.
Yep.
Time permitting, bring you the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report with John, Craig, and Aaron. So stay tuned for highlights and analysis from today's matchups, and I hope you will excuse them for being a little hoarse. They've been there all day. Second and 7. Powers Neal. Oh, look at this. He turned in there, and suddenly there was a whole lot of empty grass, and he's got a 1st down for Notre Dame inside the Pitt 15-yard line.
Good use of Rashawn Powers Neal by Charlie Weiss. 240-pounder, just averaged about 2 yards a carry last year, but having an excellent game in relief of Darius Walker.
Powers Neal.
Here's a cramp for Dan Santucci. You see when they pull the toes up like that and release the knee brace, trying to get that muscle to relax.
Santucci is the left guard for the Irish. We're trying to run down the totals on Powers Neal here because he's rolling up one of the big nights of his whole career. He's a senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah, he's got 7 rushes for 35 yards. And a couple of catches as well. Been in the end zone a couple of times.
That particular possession is what we call it the current drive or the current possession. There were 3 major penalties involved in it. But finally, all of a sudden, Pittsburgh got nailed with a 15-yarder that carried an automatic first down, and that's why Notre Dame is camped on the Pitt 14-yard line, first down. Ball is thrown out to the right side to Smarja, looking for his second touchdown of the game. He is thrown out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
But he used his size and strength and the old straight arm on Darrell Revis to get that extra yardage. Revis had the angle on him, but he just pushed him away.
That's a gain of 8 yards, second down 2.
Some of those in the standing room only group over there look like they'd be having a little cramp too by now. Some of them have left. 8:39 to play in the third quarter. Quinn stands up, looks into the end zone, shops a while, throws to the corner. It's incomplete. It's a pretty good defensive job on Stovall over there because he was not able to separate from Josh Lay.
Yeah, Lay took away the original pass route for Stovall. Stovall improvised, went to the back corner, and Lay kept himself between the quarterback and the receiver. Stovall is going to come down, try to get to the inside, sees his quarterback's in trouble right here. But look at that position by Lay.
This is the 19th play of this possession. It's 3rd down and 2. And timeout called by the Irish. And time remaining third quarter is 8:33. And Notre Dame is leading 35-13. And we welcome you back to Dr. Pepper's College Football Kickoff Weekend here on ABC. Notre Dame is down knocking on the door again. 3rd down and 2. They lead 35-13. And there's the remaining portion of the standing room only crowd. The bottom level is pretty well emptied out by now. Their feeling being the Irish have control of it. They put Darius Walker in as the single back now. He gets the ball, slants in over the middle, and looks like he might have the first down. Notre Dame has had a considerable edge in the series, though in the last 7 or 8 years it's been pretty close. But it looks like they're going to handle this game tonight. It is first down. 1st and goal from the 4. Next week, the Irish will play Michigan in Ann Arbor. And I got a feeling after seeing as much of the game as perhaps they've seen tonight that Lloyd Carr's folks have gone out and bought some more candles. Might be working a little late this week.
They have their attention as Powers Neal powers in again.
So they're in the 40s now. They've got the luxury of having a lot of people to play in that backfield, and they got those 2 big guys, and when you get a team tired and frustrated, that's the way to beat them.
Yeah, they beat them. There are 3 tight ends too: Fasano, Carlson, and Freeman, and that's just too much power.
20 plays, 80 yards, 7 minutes. 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for Powers Neal. The kick is up, and it is good. And it is 42-13.
It was going to be 4th down and 17 until H.B. Blades kicks Brady Quinn in the head. That led to Powers Neal's touchdown and another Notre Dame score.
Lost. The new season premieres Wednesday, September 21st, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Pretty good night for Notre Dame on the ground, I would say, averaging 5.7 yards per rush. The Irish offense has scored touchdowns on 5 consecutive possessions and 6 touchdowns in 7 possessions tonight.
Oh, my goodness, that's a live ball, son. You better cover it. Bounced off the shoulder pad and into the end zone. Marcus Furman going over in the corner could let it go, and it might very well have brought him out to the 35. The Dr. Pepper College Football Kickoff Weekend on ABC Sports is brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Nissan, who reminds you to shift the way you move through the world. And IBM, helping companies innovate in an on-demand world.
Been a long time since Palco and the offense have been out on the field, hasn't it?
Certainly has. They've had what? They haven't had a possession in this quarter. Ball is flipped outside to Greg Lee. Lee looking for a little help and gets a lot of punishment. First he was tackled and then somebody ran over him. Maurice Crum.
You know, right now for Pittsburgh, you got to just play to your strength. That is Greg Lee receiving, Tyler Palco passing. Forget about the running game now. Bring in your receivers and let number 3 take over. This is a tall order, obviously, but it's your only choice.
Second down and 7 from the 23. Thrown underneath. That'll work. That's a first down. Pass complete to Tim Murphy. And the football moves out to the 39-yard line. So move the chains, and here's John Saunders.
Texas A&M trying to climb back against Clemson. Reggie McNeil pitches the ball to Courtney Lewis. Good decision because he just trots in untouched. 19-17. Now the Tigers' lead is down to under a field goal. Keith.
There are a lot of folks think Aggies could win the Big 12 this year. But they better get on their horse. Palco hadn't found anybody to throw to. And remember, he's got a dreadfully sore right hand, but he keeps it out of Payne's way and picks up about 3 yards. Tomorrow, Dr. Pepper College Football Kickoff Weekend features West Virginia at Syracuse at 1:30 Eastern Time. Told you, Greg Robinson making his coaching debut at Syracuse. Monday night, maybe the ACC game of the year. Miami going to Tallahassee against Florida State. That'll be Monday night, 8 Eastern Time and 5 Pacific here on ABC Sports. Going to run it. Jennings, the big freshman, gets loose. And he's right on the first down marker as Ndukwe makes the tackle.
Yeah, best running play so far tonight for the young freshman. But it was a draw play, faking the pass, giving it to Jennings for the first down. It'll take a while to change this team from the passing team it was with Walt Harris to what Wannstedt wants is the power running team. Maybe the personnel just isn't quite right yet.
Palco completes the pass to Gill, the tight end. That'll be another first down, very close to it as he gets to the Notre Dame side of the field and 41-yard line. Palco is not the sort of a fellow who gives up. He believes he can make a play every time he goes back and tries. But he has been pummeled pretty well tonight. But he's still out there throwing.
Yeah, I think that hit by Brandon Hoyt on that right hand affected him in the pocket. He seems to get more comfortable now, though, as he's getting better pass protection as well.
Notre Dame may have relaxed just a tad. That's thrown a little too high for Bucus, the tight end.
Here's that big hit by Brandon Hoyt, the captain of the Notre Dame defense, in the second quarter, as he drops his helmet right down on that right hand. This play was not ruled a fumble. They said that Palco was down, but the big thing on that play was that his hand was injured.
A touchdown here. They need two quickly. to have any kind of hope.
And 4 slowly.
That'll work for the first down inside the 35.
I'd almost like to see him go to a hurry-up offense, Keith.
I don't know why not.
Every time they go back to huddle, it's another half a minute or so. They don't have that much time, especially since their defense can't stop the Irish.
Yep, that's right.
DJ Fitzpatrick has not punted tonight for Notre Dame.
Weaving his way in the traffic and getting something out of it is Tim Murphy, the tailback, on the first down play. He'll have 3 yards on that carry. The damaged hand to a quarterback in Pitt football history against Notre Dame has its moments. It was Matt Cavanaugh back in 1977.
Man open.
Pitt was leading 9-0 going into halftime, and he comes out, breaks his hand, has to come out of the game, and aided by 5 turnovers, Notre Dame scored 19 unanswered points in the second half to win a ball game 19-9, and went on to win the national championship. Palco had no shot. I mean, Chris Frome had a clean, clear shot at him.
And that's his first sack in his career at Notre Dame. I don't think he was blocked at all. Number 75 gets by Charles Spencer. Spencer barely even got his hands on him. And this one hurt too. That's a tackle that hurts twice. Once when you get hit at first, and then when the big 268-pounder drives you into the ground.
He's a senior. He came to Notre Dame from Saugus, California. Palco on 3rd and long goes down the middle. He's got a first down as the pass is caught by Del Sardo, but their penalty flag's thrown. So I don't know. That may come back.
They're going to get Pittsburgh for offensive pass interference.
Yep.
That's why Del Sardo was so wide open. It wasn't against him. It was against, I believe, one of the tight ends.
Number 45, offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Tight end, Eric Gill.
Right there. Watch as he comes down the field. Del Sardo is flanked to the top of the screen here. He's going to just lower the shoulder into Marcus Crum. Can't do that. And they just continue to make mistake after mistake.
They lose a big play on that penalty.
And you know, Keith, these aren't rookies making these mistakes either.
No.
Blades had that huge penalty. Now this is Gill. Gill's a senior.
They lost a 28-yard gain on that pass play. And now they're looking at 3rd down and 34.
Now they're in 2-down territory, Keith.
Right. That's what Palco does. That's out of bounds. That'll get a flag. Oh, that was way out of bounds.
Yeah, youngster trying to make a play. Ronald Talley. Got to know when to let go. And he'll let you know when to let go, won't he?
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit.
Automatic.
99 defense. That's a 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
And Ronald Talley, welcome to Professor Weiss's dissertation.
He'll never make a play like that again as long as he's playing for Charlie Weiss. Question is, will Charlie let him play? Young sophomore, big mistake. First down, Pitt.
Ball is on the 33 now, but the score is the ultimate factor here. And the score is 42 for Notre Dame and 13 for Pitt. Palco goes down the middle with it, and that's a very good defensive play by Zibikowski. He made the play against Gill.
Well, they could have got Shinandum and Ndukwe for a late hit on Gill. Good play by Zibikowski, but Nadu, as his nickname, number 18 for Notre Dame. Watch him come in after the ball is incomplete, and he drops Gill. Gill takes about 3 steps after this ball hits the ground.
It's a collision sport, as they say. 2nd down and 10. Falco just barely got back, and there's a penalty flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. They have a holding thing there.
46 on the tackle for Notre Dame. That's Corey Davis.
Holding against Pittsburgh. The Dr. Pepper College Football Kickoff Weekend on ABC Sports, brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. And Taco Bell, think outside the bun. So it's mistake, mistake, mistake. Maybe both teams getting a little tired by now. The ball is back on the 43-yard line, and it is 2nd down and 20 for Pitt.
Different story for Tyler Palco. Had a great start to this game when he found Greg Lee for a 39-yard bomb, but since he's been hurt, since this team just going nowhere.
Back into the shotgun he goes, and goes down the middle with it. Receiver didn't, Greg Lee didn't turn around and look. I'm not sure that was where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's so tough to read defenses when the defense is playing so deep. They don't have to react when they play that deep. There's 3rd down and a mile. Zibikowski and Shinandum can just sit back there and wait for the play to come to them. Rick Minter's got to be very happy with the play of his secondary tonight.
Don't forget Bill Lewis. He's the man in charge of that secondary. He's got some autumns on his back. And a lot of success.
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Hey, that's really one of the ironies of this game, perhaps, Keith, is that Bill Lewis coached for so many years with Dave Wanstead.
He did.
With the Dolphins.
Yep.
Think he might have shared an idea or two with Minter and crowd.
3rd down, 25.
That's into a crowd. Almost could have been picked off on the ricochet, but was not.
Ambrose knew the ball was up in the air. He just couldn't locate it. He's dying out there because he knew that ball was up in the air. Falco does a nice job of stepping up into this pocket. Just a 3-man rush for the Irish. Actually, just a 2-man rush at that time. But look at number 22 here. Where is it?
And it's in the hands of the punter. Kressel hits it high. Zibikowski's waiting for it inside the 10. Now lets it go. Oh my goodness.
Hasn't that been the kind of night for Pitt?
Reggie Carter, DB back there, was on the 1-yard line trying to reach out and catch the ball and kill it at the 1-yard line. It went off his hands into the end zone. 1st down at the 20 for the Irish.
And that's why Reggie Carter plays defensive back and not wide receiver. He's trying to get his feet coordinated here so he doesn't go into the end zone, and takes his eye off the ball, and that's the way the ball bounces tonight.
What do they call that thing? Elliptical steroid?
I never called it that.
That's the 1st down. As Darius Walker adds to his total, carries Tez Morris with him, but move the chains. It's past the 30. The ADT National Championship Trophy making an appearance in Pittsburgh this weekend. big bonfire here last night over at the Cathedral of Learning on the lawn. Quite a festive weekend. Labor Day weekend. Weather is just gorgeous.
And the next time they have a bonfire, I suggest they throw this game tape in.
I really don't know what you can learn from this kind of thing. Sometimes it's better just to throw it in the waste can and go on about your business and try to forget it.
Yeah, you know, there's always coaches are going to tell you and be able to dissect this game film for Pitt. But when you get dominated up front, everything else falls into place for an offense. Notre Dame's offensive line now 429 yards in total offense for Notre Dame against this Pitt defense.
And the Irish pretty much content now just to beat on them as we wind down toward the end of the third quarter.
And that young man right there is at 100 yards even in 3 quarters. What a night for Darius Walker.
And ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and the word from our ABC stations with the Irish leading 42-13.
My name is Carl Kolchak. As a reporter, I seek answers to the questions that haunt me. What if everything we fear is real?
Night Stalker premieres Thursday, September 29th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Help make a difference. Donate to the Hurricane Katrina relief efforts.
The line score in the ball game. Pretty good first quarter for both teams. Second quarter, the Irish took control, outscoring Pittsburgh 21-3. Shut out Pittsburgh in the third, and they lead 42-13 as we go to the fourth. And Travis Thomas is the single back for the Irish. It is third down and short 5. Little loop to the sidelines. Incomplete. Schmarza couldn't go up and out-wrestle Darrell Revis for the ball. And so it'll bring up fourth down, and they'll punt.
First punt of the night after this incompletion. Great coverage by Revis there.
Fitzpatrick is in the kick. And it should be Lerod Stevens waiting for it. No, it's Revis waiting for it. That was a hard snap coming back to him, but he handled it. Didn't get all of it, and it's going to wobble around and roll a little bit for him and go inside the 30 and dead at the 28. This weekend, the Washington Huskies opened their season against the Air Force Academy, and they lost in Seattle 20-17. Of course, the storyline there as far as this game is concerned is Tyrone Willingham having been pushed out of Notre Dame after 3 seasons. His first season, his first game as the head coach of the Washington Huskies, and his cupboard was pretty much bare when he went to Seattle. But interesting that he, like David Wanstead at Pitt and like Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame, their recruiting is almost complete for next year. And this is Raymond Kirkley on the run down the sidelines and the biggest run of the night for the Pitt Panthers. Finally tracked down by Zibikowski, and like a bolt of lightning, here comes Raymond Kirkley back into the ball game.
Yeah, you got to feel that Notre Dame's let up quite a bit here. Defensive line getting blown out. Huge hole by Pitt. Kirkley with a long run. Just 2 yards shy of his career best of 57. The 5th-year senior protecting the ball is Zibikowski trying to punch it out.
And it's first down at the 17 for Pitt. Alco trying to break out of the pocket and find some running room, is knocked down after a 2-yard pickup. And again, here is John Saunders.
Keith, it's time for the Pontiac game-changing performance update. Might it be this? Texas A&M coming back against Clemson. Reggie McNeil, 31 yards to Chad Schroeder. and they grab the lead. For some reason, they only go for the single extra point and lead by 2, 24-22. Clemson has been great on their field goals.
Tougher game, I think, probably than Franchione might have expected. This is Stevens, the freshman, LaRod Stevens. 165 pounds of fury, but he is stopped just inside the 5-yard line.
Really set up his block quite well that time as Mike McGlynn gets out in front. Ambrose Wooden gets over there in time to keep Stevens from diving for that pylon.
I got a hunch a freshman, all of them are going to get more and more playing time at Pitt. They go to Athens, Ohio next week, I think.
Yep.
Frank Solich's. Well, there's nothing on that play. Maybe a yard as Tim Murphy is brought down by Justin Brown.
It's a lack of urgency on Pitt's offense right now. Kind of walking around, taking their time, getting back in the huddle. This is what you learn from a game like this. Got to keep the pressure on. You've got your offense with its only momentum since the first quarter.
It's second down and goal. Falco looking to throw it, throws to the corner, and the only man he had to choose from was in the deep corner, Darrell Strong, and he couldn't get to it.
It was great position by Mike Richardson, who's really bounced back well tonight. He plays the boundary corner. That time he was covering a lot of field, trying to stay up with the Pitt wide receiver, but his angle was perfect and forced Palco to throw it long.
Third and goal. Just inside the 5. Throwing again. Incomplete. Receiver fell down. Steve Bucus was running to the post and fell down. Got tangled up with the defender. So it's 4th down.
You know, the Irish have adjusted to Greg Lee as they did last year when Lee had the big first half and was shut out in the second half. Remember, Lee got that touchdown, that 39-yard bomb in the first quarter. Since then, he's only had 3 catches for just 23 yards. So Notre Dame has taken away the main weapon for Pitt.
They got 4 wideouts in the game. Falco's going to run it. Goal line, he's in there. Tyler Falco just got in. So at 12:55 of the 4th quarter, 12:55 to go, Pitt gets its 19th point.
Big block here by Tim Murphy, leading on Brandon Hoyt. Falco with a nice job of setting up the block, but heck of an effort by Hoyt to come off the block by Murphy. But a little bit late.
They have the appearance of going for 2 here. Why not? That's Matt Cavanaugh calling the play.
Looks like you said 1-1-8. A pass play, perhaps. Ones are usually slant routes. We'll see what happens here.
A power play over the left side, and he's in there. Tim Murphy. Murphy's a 235-pounder, so he's not a gimme, and he stuck it in the end zone. And so that's 21 points now for Pitt. They only need 21 more to catch him with 12:55 to play.
Patriots, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
You define this by calling it anticipation, I guess. They anticipated an onside kick. They didn't get it. Instead, they got a pooch kick that carried too far and went out of bounds. So it blew up on the Panthers like everything else has so far tonight. The Dr. Pepper College Football Kickoff Weekend on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Singular, raising the bar. Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. And Pacific Life, for insurance, annuities, and investments. Choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
The kick was kicked out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. The second flag will be picked up. First down.
Second flag will be picked up.
Well, the second flag was a personal foul against Raymond McKnight. But because the ball was kicked out of bounds, it's a dead ball. But it's still, why did you throw the flag? An oops, perhaps.
Travis Thomas back in motion, handed inside to ASAP Schwab, and Schwab stops you. This weekend, join ABC Sports in Boston, where Tiger Woods heads the field at the Deutsche Bank Championship. Live third-round coverage tomorrow at 5 Eastern, and Monday final round coverage begins at 3 Eastern right here on ABC Sports. Tiger didn't have a particularly good day today. It was, what, 2 over, I believe. And he's a bit back from the 65 he rung up the first day. The tournament ends on Monday, Labor Day. Second down and 8. This is Thomas.
Good opportunity for Travis Thomas. Darius Walker sprained his ankle, and he's being iced down on the sideline, so he's done for the evening. Got his 100 yards, but Travis Thomas now, the backup running back who has very good hands, will get the bulk of the carries now as we wind this one down.
Yeah, Walker's through for the night. He's been told to ice his ankle, sit down, hush up, and wait for next week. 152 yards and 2 touchdowns for him tonight. So Darius has done yeoman work this evening, and his coach has told him he is through for the night. Quinn's pass thrown very hard and incomplete off the hands of Anthony Fasano.
Yeah, Brady Quinn may be done for the night too.
Yep.
Be smart to get him out of the game. Start letting some of the youngsters play. What a first night for Brady Quinn in this new Notre Dame offense.
Well, he's not exactly getting a sweet good night either.
Nobody is spared.
I like it. Why not?
That's certainly refreshing in this day and age, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How about this for Fitzpatrick? Wow.
Goodness. Ball rolls dead at about the 6-yard line. Time permitting, Thrifty Carmichael post-game report with John Craig and Aaron. Stay tuned for the highlights and analysis from today's matchup, if we can keep them awake.
They got one good game they're watching. I know that. Clemson and A&M. It's a good one.
That was quite a remarkable comeback by Illinois today to fetch out a win against Rutgers. That was a very entertaining ball game.
Ron Zook's debut.
From the 6 now, here comes Pittsburgh, and time remaining 11 minutes and 10 seconds. And Tyler Palco still working. He's got one on this side and one down the middle. He takes the one down the middle. Derek Kinder, and it works big. Comes out to about the 27, 28-yard line for a first down. Pretty good wrestling match for the ball.
Yeah, let's check it out, Keith, because this ball is out. That's a fumble. Now, who has possession here? Kinder has it there, so that's when the whistle is blown before Zibikowski can pull it loose.
And it's first down just short of the 28. This is Jennings, big freshman, and he doesn't find much. 3 yards, as he crosses the 30 to the 31, and Wooden on the tackle.
Our Pacific Live game summary will tell us all about the Notre Dame rushing game tonight for Darius Walker, who scored a couple of times, but John Powers-Neal a couple of times. Notre Dame totally unstoppable, whether it's on the ground tonight or through the air.
Alco's pass is batted away. Incomplete. Southern California, the defending national champions, went to Hawaii and won going away today relatively easily. But when you go to Hawaii and play in that circumstance over there, usually warm and usually humid, and the trip added to it, a couple of 3-4 hours on the beach, some of it when you're not supposed to. Sometimes you come home and you're a little less strong than you were when you went. And Southern California next week is at home against Arkansas, which has been living in that heat, training in that humidity, and they should come in pretty good shape. But I don't have a clue as to what kind of team Houston Nutt has, and he may not either because he has so many new people. So the quarterback is sacked by Abi Amiri, and now they're looking at a 4th down and 10. ABC Sports will have the Notre Dame-Michigan game for you next week, and that figures to be a pretty good one. They're going to punt it away. They're going to give him the touchdown, and again, Castle doesn't get all of it, but it goes right through the legs of a Notre Dame man and rolls on down the sidelines, but it nicked it at about the 25-yard line, and now we got a penalty flag, looks like.
Yeah, about 4 Irish were late getting off the field. And I think those are the 4 that Weiss is yelling at now. This is another one of those illegal participation penalties.
Well, we had some activity from the replay folks in the first half, but they've been quiet in the second half.
There was 12 players for the defense. That penalties declined. First up.
Well, here comes that time of the ball game where you can do your seasoning. You can get them ready to play at a time when they're sorely needed. Certainly you don't need your starter anymore. This will be David Wolke. He's a 6'4", 205-pounder from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Number 14, and he's in the ball game at quarterback. And he just simply hands it away, and here goes Travis Thomas up the sidelines and picks up a first down. Thomas is a junior out of Washington, Pennsylvania.
Brady Quinn's numbers on the evening, pretty good in his debut in this Charlie Weiss offense. You know, I asked him if he had talked to Tom Brady yet, and he said no, but he has plans to. So, Tom, you can expect a phone call from Brady as Wolke goes to the cheat sheet on his wristband.
Well, he walked in, and Charlie Weiss walked in and gave all his quarterbacks and several other players the complete New England Patriot playbook, and they could hardly tote it. Penalty flags thrown at the 40-yard line.
51 Blades, 41.
Now, let's join ABC News for this special report.
This is an ABC News special report.
I'm Taina Hernandez in New York. Thank you for joining us. ABC News has learned Supreme Court Chief Justice William Rehnquist has died at his home in suburban Virginia. This according to a court spokeswoman. As many of you know, he has been suffering or had been suffering from thyroid cancer. And ABC's Manuel Medrano has more on his life.
In 1986, President Reagan wanted a conservative as Chief Justice, and William Rehnquist fit the bill.
I, William H. Rehnquist, do solemnly swear.
As an Associate Justice, Rehnquist had been a steadfast conservative and often a lonely one. He authored so many lone dissents during his early years on the court that his clerks gave him a Lone Ranger doll. He was one of only 2 justices to dissent in Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that established a woman's right to an abortion. Rehnquist's conservative roots can be traced directly to his childhood. He was born October 1st, 1924 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and raised in a comfortable middle-class home. His parents were staunch Republicans. After serving 3 years in World War II with the Army Air Corps, he enrolled in college with the help of the GI Bill. In 1952, he graduated first in his law school class at Stanford, just ahead of classmate and fellow future Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who graduated third. In 1969, Rehnquist left private practice to serve as an assistant attorney general for the Nixon administration. Just 2 years later, Nixon appointed him Associate Justice.
Do I look magisterial enough? I predict in another couple minutes I will melt.
During his confirmation hearings for Chief Justice, Rehnquist critics charged he was hostile to the rights of women and minorities and accused him of harassing black voters at polling places in Phoenix in the early 1960s.
As to harassing or intimidating, I certainly do categorically deny any time, any place.
But even his critics could not challenge his competence.
In competence, the nominee is brilliant.
The Senate confirmed him 65-33. Rehnquist's appointment paved the way for what most consider the court's most conservative period in the last 25 years. Joined by conservative Justices Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas, Chief Justice Rehnquist found himself with a narrow majority on many hot-button issues. The Rehnquist court firmly backed the constitutionality of the death penalty, restricted the rights of prisoners to appeal their cases in federal courts, and endorsed more public funding of religious groups. In 1999, when perjury and obstruction of justice charges were brought against President Bill Clinton, Rehnquist became only the second Chief Justice to preside over the impeachment trial of a president.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
He presided wearing a robe he designed himself, but it was the Senate which made the judgment to acquit the president.
It is therefore ordered and adjudged that the said William Jefferson Clinton be and he hereby is acquitted of the charges in the said article.
But it was Rehnquist's commitment to states' rights that will leave the most lasting impression on the court. As Chief Justice, he consistently led the conservative majority in overturning congressional legislation that they felt threatened state sovereignty and worked to tip the balance of power back to the states. Ironically, though, the court's most controversial decision overturned a ruling by a state court. When the Florida Supreme Court ordered a statewide recount of votes in the 2000 presidential contest between Al Gore and George Bush, the court decided 5-4 to halt the recount, ending Al Gore's hopes and bringing victory to George Bush. Rehnquist will go down in history as the man who inherited a liberal court and moved it steadily to the right. A conservative legacy his replacement is sure to continue.
For those of you just joining us, Supreme Court Chief Justice William Rehnquist has died at his home in suburban Virginia. He was 80 years old, and confirmation hearings for John Roberts were set to begin Tuesday. He is slated to fill Sandra Day O'Connor's seat. Now, of course, the court has another vacancy with Chief Justice William Rehnquist's death. I'm Taina Hernandez in New York. We'll have a full report for you on Sunday. Good morning, America.
For continuing coverage of this story, stay with ABC News, abcnews.com, and ABC News Radio. This has been a special report from ABC News.
And we're back in Pittsburgh here at Heinz Field for the Notre Dame Pitt game. No change in the score, 42-21, the Irish lead. They had to punt the ball to the end zone. Pitt took it at the 20, and they have now moved the football down to the Notre Dame 39-yard line. Tyler Palko running it, runs for what appears to be another first down for the Panthers. So they're still trying, but at 4:45 to play in the ball game, they are 21 points down.
Yeah, a little late to go to the hurry-up offense, but that's where they are.
And it's working. Down the middle, no, off the hands of Derek Kinder. There were 3 Irish defenders back there, but Kinder had a chance at catching it.
You know, Kinder only caught 1 pass the entire last season. It was for a touchdown against Notre Dame. That would have been his 2nd touchdown against Notre Dame. But he flat lets this one trickle off his fingertips. Can't reach far enough for the rebound. Another opportunity lost.
Can't get away. They knock him down all the way back at the 38. 42-21. Notre Dame leading.
We'll get back to Keith Jackson in just a moment. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame about to put the winning touches on that one. But Clemson right now is lining up for a last-second field goal that would get them a victory against Texas A&M. Let's take you out to Gary Thorne.
He was perfect all of last year and tonight.
Trying to set a new school record to go 6 for 6 in one game on field goals. It is a 42-yarder. A chance for the game winner right here. Texas A&M lining up with nobody back, everybody in the line, and they'll take the timeout. So they want him to think about it.
Absolutely.
They still have another timeout to burn. And they've just burned it.
3rd and final timeout.
You know, people say, well, why do you take them? You know, I always think take every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Yeah. Of course he's nervous.
He gets to think about it for another 30 seconds to a minute.
And I love how no one's talking to him. Standing behind the nobody wants to jinx him. Nobody wants to be the guy who said something.
People are afraid to walk by him.
Yeah. Don't even be in his presence.
So for Dean, a chance to win this football game. I say that with one hesitation. There are 6 seconds still on the clock. There could still be a kickoff here, even if he makes it. With Texas A&M on top by 2, they are watching.
And that's why A&M took the timeout before. Clemson was going to wait till about 3 seconds, so it would be the last play. And Dennis Franchione called it at 6 seconds, so exactly what you're talking about. There still could be a kickoff in this game.
The lonely man, as most kickers are.
1 is the loneliest number.
He looks like the lonely end of Army in those days gone by, who never got to come to the huddle. All right, here we go. Texas A&M had lined everybody up, not trying to get anybody to go over the pile. This is going to be a 42-yard field goal. 5 for 5 already for the junior, Jad Dean. Snapper holder. Good play by the holder to get that down. Kick is up, and it is good! What a play by the holder! Cole Chasen. That snap was low. He put it down. 2 seconds left. Clemson leads by 1.
They've had bad snaps all night. Cole Chasen, you don't expect the punter to have that great of hands. What a nice job getting that ball down. That's the hardest one, too, when it hits the ground right when you're trying to catch it. If it's already rolling, you know you've got to scoop it and get it down, but that hit the ground right as Cole Chasen went to grab it, and he couldn't have said it any better.
Tommy on the sideline. Coach Bowden. Wow. 25-24. Whitehurst could not finish the game. Proctor came in for him after he took that knee to the head of quarterback. Might want to give that game ball to the holder.
And Tommy Bowden on the sideline saying, guys, get back. There's still 2 seconds left in the game. We'll let you know when it's done. We'll get you back to Notre Dame and Pitt in a moment as the Fighting Irish look to get their first victory of the year under their new head coach, Charlie Weis.
There's nothing hotter than a Boston Legal season premiere with guest star Heather Locklear.
Oh my God, you're sexy. I'll have a pair of my pants delivered. You can try and get in them on your own time.
Boston Legal, Tuesday, September 27th, 10/9 Central, only on ABC.
Well, we're trying to mercifully end this ball game here in Pittsburgh. It's still 42-21, and Notre Dame now, as they have ebbed and flowed up and down the field, is back down knocking on the Pittsburgh door for one more touchdown.
Yeah, big play of this drive for Notre Dame was David Wolke took off for a nice long gain down the sidelines.
The ball is resting on the 7-yard line in possession of Notre Dame. And a lot of different folks are getting a little playing time. This is Jeff Jenkins, number 32, and he's finally hauled down for a loss on the play. And Charlie Weiss now is looking at third down. He's talking to his young backup quarterback, Wolke. David is getting some seasoning, some time in the ball game. Though it is mop-up time, it is still important in the development of that backup quarterback.
And perhaps we'll see him throw his first pass, or just maybe kneel it down, I guess.
Tough night for David Wanstead's debut as the head coach of the Pitt Panthers. He knew there was work to do, and now he really knows it. As the final seconds tick away, Notre Dame defeats Pittsburgh by a score of 42-21. The series now reads 44-18-1 in favor of Notre Dame. We'll be right back. Final score is 42-21. The Chevrolet players of the game are number 10, Brady Quinn of Notre Dame, quarterback, and Tyler Palko of Pitt, their quarterback. Quinn was 18-27, 227 yards, and a touchdown. 5 of 49 yards in rushing. Tyler Palko, 20 out of 35, 219 yards, and picked one time, as was Quinn was picked twice. But the two quarterbacks were the Chevrolet stars, and in recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. College football on ABC Sports continues tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific time as West Virginia takes on Syracuse. And it was a dominating performance here by the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. For the Pitt Panthers, a crushing loss, but time to rebuild. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
We crashed 1,000 miles off course. They're looking for us in the wrong place.
If we can't live together, we're gonna die alone. Charlie!
You think we crashed on this place by coincidence?
Where are we?
We were brought here for a reason, all of us.
We need to get off this island.
Do you think we're being punished?
What is this thing?
Don't open it.
We're opening the hatch so that we can survive.
What if everything that happened for a reason?
Stop it! Stop the race!
We're gonna have to take the boy.
Covering Greater Grand Rapids and the Lakeshore, this is a special edition of WZZM 13 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lego. Michigan offered and FEMA accepted. Now the first wave of hurricane victims are on their way to West Michigan and will arrive tomorrow. Governor Granholm released